The arsonist has oddly shaped feet.
All right, here we go. All eyes on me.
Are you actually speaking? Okay, sorry.
Pipe down, please.
Action!
Tonight, he is not in danger. He is the danger. Paddy, welcome to AFL 180.
Paddy, do you think the Adelaide supporters have accepted your reasons for leaving? What sort of police protection have you arranged for your return in round 8?
Well, I think Hawthorn have got the bye, so I'm going to bring Alistair Clarkson with me, and if anyone gets in the way, I think Clarko's going to take care of him for me.
Paddy, you're a known impressionist.
I am.
Can you give us your best Gerard Whateley?
I can give you my best Gerard Whateley, actually. I'm Gerard Whateley, and I'm a sesquipedalian, someone who uses big words in order to make themselves sound more intelligent.
Yeah, right. Give us your best Robbo. I'm sure it's pretty good.
All right. What was the question?
What? Who's that meant to be?
Paddy, from a journalistic weapon to a football one, I can only wish you the very best for the season. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Gerard. Thanks, Robbo.
Good night, all.
Just great stuff there. Paddy Dangerfield will be in action this afternoon. He is a gun performer on the footy field, we know that, but also one of the great personalities and a great fella of the game. The Bombers are on the field for this country celebration between Essendon and Geelong. Big day for the Bombers today. They're in fine form. They're really showing a lot more than a lot of people thought they would this year. But the great news for them is they've got Bird, Laverde and McKenna, the young Irishman coming in, Connor McKenna. Out goes Crowley omitted, Comma, and also Merritt has been omitted. So the team as it's selected on Thursday is the team that will be playing. There's one out and there's a long side we'll get to in a few moments' time. But a big day for Joe Danaher on the big stage. And of course, Kelly and Stokes, the former Cats, playing against their old teammates. And here comes one of their premiership teammates there, Jimmy Bartell. The Cats running out. Shane Kirsten is out of the selected side with a calf injury, which means Jake Kolodjasny comes in for Geelong. And we've seen in recent times Joel Selwood and Dangerfield really playing well together. Selwood, I think, has been exceptional this year with that bad foot injury that he's had, but still playing to an extremely high level, and Dangerfield is playing out of his skin at the moment. So we look forward to it. The ins for this match for the Cats, Lonergan, Murdoch, Gregson, and as I said, Kolodjasny. Enright's out, just a bit of management, if you like. McCarthy has been omitted and Kolodjasny was dropped, now comes back into the side for another chance. So he'll be firing up, no doubt about that, to have a big day today. All right, let's head out to the MCG. We're almost ready for a start. See what's happening out there. It's going to be a wonderful afternoon of football, as I said, right throughout the day and night here. But this innovation by Kevin Sheedy, a big crowd at the MCG, as you'd expect. And the plucky Bombers shaking hands with a real professional outfit in the Geelong Football Club. We're ready to go. The whistle sounds. Ball's about to be bounced. It's Essendon and Geelong.
For action is away. The Bombers hosting the Cats at the MCG. Guess who? Dangerfield early. Guthrie, little slide in the end from Stanley. Couldn't quite control his feet. Lost control of the football as a result. Bartell, as he always does, crashes through Ambrose, somehow to Merritt, and then hurriedly to the boot. Inside 50. Impressive stuff early from the Bombers. Harry Taylor. Back it goes. The man from Geraldton talking about regional Australia to Mackie. Well, you heard the umpire. Bartell. Got to be quick, Henderson, and was old teammate James Kelly. Just got into his back.
On the mark, that's it.
Now to Duncan.
Oh, there, David.
I think they weren't teammates. Kelly and Henderson. Crossed over, sliding doors. Here's McDonald, Tippenwoody. Little one to Gwilt, just a fumble. Corey Gregson. One of the 3 ins this afternoon. Made him think about things pretty early.
One of the things, Tim, that I want to see from Essendon is that forward pressure. It's great to see Matthew Stokes laying a strong tackle inside 50. They need to have forward half pressure to give you those opportunities for repeats.
Essendon.
Umpire explaining all. So Leuenberger to the skipper in Goddard. A long way to the end for D.
Oh, there, Daniel. Play on.
To the run. Now, here's the Irishman, third game. Connor McKenna against the old stager. Back inside, McDonald, Tippenwoody. Couldn't control it, deflected it pretty nicely though for Merritt. Crashing through D again. Mackie the tackler. Well done, Cockatoo. Then Menzel involved. Blitzarves, Darcy Lang. Now to half forward, nothing to at home. Bagley, what a player he has been over the last few seasons for the Bombers. Zaharakis, good kick. Lundberg with space. Cooney, nothing doing other than Brown, 30 ahead, and that's the direction he will go. It's him on the chest.
A bit tough, James Kelly getting a bit of a boot.
He was
quickly
retired.
forget, don't they?
He was retired by the club and working elsewhere, and he's gone to the Bombers to help out. Still some Bronx cheers. Gwilt, he was delisted too, picked up by the Bombers and has been really serviceable. Bagley now into the pocket, bit of a wait in the end for Merritt, but Mackie, well, it was terrific. Didn't do anything untoward, and in the right spot. And kills what was a very good kick in the end.
Zach Merritt just need to engage the body there a little bit earlier, try and get a bit of body contact on Andrew Mackie there. But
Mackie played it beautifully, didn't he?
So Leuenberger against Stanley on this occasion. Bird, one of the ins for the Bombers this afternoon. Danaher cast there in the role of Rover. Did pretty well. Dangerfield, though, ended up with a football. Been involved early, Dangerfield. Into the back hats of Mendel. Umpire left the whistle alone. Cam Guthrie to Duncan. Turns the ball over. Disappointing in the end. Hartley had an opportunity. Let it slide.
Once again, though, the pressure was there from Essendon. It wasn't an easy out there for Geelong. And they should have taken that mark, but they get the opportunity to win the ball back again.
Stanley, front spot, knocked it down. Zaharakis just roved the ball beautifully. Tumbling ball to half-forward territory. McKenna about the place. Ambrose off the ground. Lonigan, well, Ruggles in the end just knocks it to the boundary. The race is on. Danaher tried to push it around the corner and get back onto it.
I mean, the signs are good early here for Essendon. The ball hasn't been over halfway yet for Geelong, so they're doing the right thing in terms of being able to maintain the ball in their forward half, but they just need to be able to construct a score.
Darcy Parish, the Winchelsea boy, to space. Mackie had to wait a while. Bounce was kind. Guthrie now to Motlop.
sliding well down the line here, though. Essendon just trying to block that kick up.
We saw that last night, didn't we? So many times the West Coast Eagles, with their defence, forced Richmond to kick long down the line.
Well, Motlop, Merritt got into a good spot. Motlop just held the ball for the moment, lost it. Pressure's terrific at the moment from the Bombers. Stokes, Merritt wanted Parish. Well, maybe he didn't. Zaharakis. Parish now ends up with a football. Well, it's all Cats where it's going to land. Just a bit too hot with the kick. And Henderson from regional Victoria. Birregurra to the boy from Moggs Creek who's returned home. Kelly chases Dangerfield into the pocket. Well done, Hawkins. Terrific kick in the end. Dangerfield has been using the football superbly all year. Another example of it.
Sensational transfer of play by Geelong. Just the ability of Dangerfield to get out into space on the wing, but the kick, Tim, just well weighted over the back.
Well, unselfish in the end. Just didn't like what he was looking at. Short to Lang.
That was a poor kick by Darcy Parish. He's only a young kid and he's going to learn, but on that occasion, he just kicked the ball to the Geelong defenders and he really opened up his own an attacking space for Geelong with that kick.
Yes.
This wind's swirling around a bit. This may not be the easy kick that it looks.
So Darcy Lang to open the Cats account. Just off the side of the boot. Held reasonably true in the air, but never was it online. First score of the afternoon.
It can be really tricky here sometimes. You can think the wind's blowing one way, it's blowing in your face, Jude, but actually once you put the ball up in the air, it can take a completely different turn.
Well, that's why I saw the coaches out of here early, just explaining that wind, and just all the coaches got out there to speak to the guys.
Well, very clever from Duncan, just knocked it over the top to himself. Motlop kick inside, knocked away in the end. Good stuff. From D, knocked it to the wing. Kolodjasny, a late in, was seemingly omitted. Back in he comes for Shane Kirsten, who was the laid out. Stokes.
Nothing to kick to down the line.
To Brown, back to Stokes. Brown spent a lot of time on the Cats list, no games. Stokes, a couple of premierships as we alluded to in the pre-game. Cooney, Goddard, McDonald, Tip and Woody. Well measured the kick, terrific in the end to Zaharakis. Danaher leads Lonigan about the place. Lonigan just uses the arm, corrals him for the moment. Wide ball now to Gwilt, back inside. Bagley. Well, McDonald, Tip and Woody, he'd run a long way inside to the pocket. In the end, enough Cats there to get back with a fly.
You can see how well Geelong just slide back and close up the leading lanes each time. They do it so well without even Enright, who was fantastic last week, and obviously we know he's being managed this weekend.
McDonald, Tip and Woody, what a great story he is. Left the Tiwi Islands at 17 to make a name for himself. Zaharakis, he's made a name for himself. He's kicked the first. He made a name for himself on this ground with his first goal. Anzac Day football. Grew up barracking for the Bombers. He's been very good for a long time now, game 130. And he is one of the leaders at the club now. He gets the first of the Bombers on a Saturday afternoon, and he gets the Bombers in front.
He's had a terrific start to this year. And here we see the stoppage, just the work here from Zaharakis, just the ability to get it onto his boot in traffic, but he has had a fantastic start to the season, this young man.
His numbers, as you say, Jude, quite phenomenal. Duncan to Caddy, a fumble but time to recover. Corey Gregson to half forward where nothing's really doing for the moment. Kind bounce in the end for Bagley, back to Gwilt, hemmed in, works it through, well done to Fantasia. Back inside to Zaharakis now at half-back, doing it at both ends of the ground. Well, lost in the tackle of football. Chance for the Cats here to regather. Well done, Duncan. Back it comes. Ruggles. Well, terrific now to Blitzarves. The story he is the best and fairest from last year. Terrible kick.
Hold him up there.
So the former Tiger, D, goes to the former Saint in Gwilt.
Play up, play up, play up, play up. Yours.
A few turnovers early. Ruggles couldn't quite take it. Just arches his back, gets rid of one tackle. Caddy happy to stop and wait.
It was a great debut from this man last week, Ruggles. It was just a very lively off half-back. Just fits in very well.
Best and fairest last year, Tom Ruggles for the Cats VFL side. An interesting reading during the week. He said if he was drafted early, and he was a 4th-round pick last year for the Cats, he said he wouldn't have survived. He just wasn't ready for AFL football. But now at 23, he's debuted, and he's rolling along. Caddy, too far out, looks about the place to half forward, decides to kick into the pocket. Smith, Blitzarves, plenty of balls, and Zach Smith from out the back and over the top. Terrific set of hands.
And I think that's going to be part of their game plan today too. They're a little bit undersized, the Essendon defence. Yeah, they tie up Hawkins. You can see that in the foreground there. And that just allows Zach Smith to get a beautiful ride at the ball. Just nothing inhibiting him on the way to the contest. And that's a great screamer from him. And that is definitely classified as a pack mark.
As the tall timber. Hawkins at the front, Blitzarves in the middle, and Zach Smith flying from behind. So Zach Smith, he's been impressive early going as a Cat on this ground in the opening round. He kicked 3 to the left.
It just looked like he tried to overcompensate for the wind there and just hung that out. He just didn't need to give away the goals.
Short ball to Zaharakis, lone goal scorer of the afternoon today, but just on the height of the Cats, Tim, they've got 9 players 196 centimetres or more, the Cats, 7 of them playing today. Tough for any defensive outfit and plenty of options. Big fly from Leuenberger, a couple of the Bombers' tall men colliding on the outer side at half-back.
Just on both teams' jumpers too, guys. You can see obviously Geelong paying tribute via the traditional hoops to the 4 key industries in the country: livestock, wool, wine and wheat. And the Bombers have got the name of every country town of an Essendon player is put on. So terrific work there by both clubs to get those Guernseys.
That is your task for the day, Woosh. I just want you to find out where Dimbula is on that sash, okay?
It's right at the bottom of the back. I've seen Dale before.
Lonergan. Now to Murdoch with a bit of speed and dash to the wing. Ball kick. All Gwilt, all the Bombers. To the outer side, they've got the overlap on too. Over the top. Chance for Gleeson. How does it settle? A couple of skips away. Finally, up into the hands of the youngster from Croydon. On the left, here's Laverde. Back into the side. Right spot. Well, this can be the second for the Bombers.
And that's exactly what you have to do when you get a turnover in modern-day football at half-back like Essendon did then. And that is to be able to convert it into a shot at goal at the other end of the ground. And that's good. It wasn't beautiful ball movement, but in the end, the kick from Gleeson was placed perfectly for Laverde.
So Laverde, first game of the year, played the last 9 games of last year, kicked 5, was impressive. Well, Well, this is a great start from the Bombers. 2 straight. They lead by 10.
It is a really good start. They've been great around the contest so far. Essendon, Geelong have had a couple of opportunities which they haven't taken. But really, Essendon are really prepared to run. And we know the last time they were here at the MCG, they caused a major upset against Melbourne. So they like the size of this ground. It suits the way they play. They've got some really good, smart runners out there. And at the moment, they're overworking Geelong.
Here's Jayden Alverdo go back and kicking truly. It's been a sensational start by Essendon. 6 inside 50s, 2 goals straight. Perfect start for John Walsh, Worsfold's men.
So 2 goals, two behinds. Smith kicked one of those behinds. Langford in the middle of the ground, works it to Merritt. Merritt quickly to Cooney. Well done. Away again. Here go the Bombers. Bird thumps it long. Henderson.
They've got their team defence working really well though, Tim. Just organised.
That was good body work then from Tim Woody, wasn't it?
Just held Darcy Lang out. Quickly back inside to Bird. Now to Fantasia, kept the ball low, had to. Gwilt, Merritt, inside to Bagley. Impressive stuff. Bombers now through Langford. A fumbled ball, don't have time to do that out there today. Cockatoo had it, lost it. Gwilt, tackled by Cockatoo. Blitzarves, well done, read it well. Well, suddenly there's some fumbles in the middle of the ground. That time it was Zach Smith. Motlop just waited for Goddard to come to him. Fed it to Cam Guthrie. Now the long ball. Caddy has to wait. Pushes D away. Too strong. Too experienced. Too good from Caddy. Maybe the Cats can get their first major of the afternoon.
Well, it was the Mark Bagley forward handball just in the centre of the ground. It just put Langford under enormous pressure. We saw it last night with Cochin just putting his teammates under pressure. You've got to execute in that handball, and it just got transferred straight down the ground.
Good, strong body play there by Caddy.
Quite methodical approach. He sneaks it through. Fine run thing. Catcher on the board. So 2 straight to 1-2. Punchy start from Essendon. Fumbles in the middle of the ground from the Bombers allow the Cats to get hold of the loose ball. Caddy finishes.
And Jude spoke about that dropped handball of Langford. It was a forward handball. It was a difficult one, but as a kid, he had to actually grab hold of that. You don't get many opportunities. You don't get a lot of time to dispose of the ball. He had to be able to control the ball there.
Well, this is not quite often you don't see this before an AFL game. All the coaching staff having a bit to say as a group to the players, whether they're talking through the particular tactics or the wind. They just had a lot to say before the game.
It wasn't a brief chat, Jude, either, was it?
Not at all. No, they were out here for a good 10-15 minutes chatting to the boys.
Cooney out of the middle, looks for the Irishman in McKenna. Murdoch wraps him up, drops the football, gets the football, Murdoch. Murdoch over the top, got a runner. Tom Ruggles, game 2, bouncing silver ball. Ugly for James Kelly, ran into his own teammate. That was McDonald Tippenwood. He still had the football, worked it around. Now to Cooney, got a runner. Laverde, the second for the Bombers. Henderson, back he goes. The one to Caddy, got the first for the Cats. Murdoch fumbled the football. Laverde involved again. Cooney got it from the skipper. Fantasia, a fumble. Clever enough to get through. Well done. Numbers and runners. Laverde, Selwood got around the skipper. Back inside. A fumble from Ambrose just at the critical moment. Kelly, he left it behind too. Bit of an up and under. Away. McDonald Tippenwoody too high. Bombers playing with some flair and confidence. Danaher almost. Motlop. A bounce. Cleaner stuff from Motlop. Runs into trouble. Kept the football in. Well, not 15 the call. Must have been close enough. Kolajasny, Gregson, Motlop. Bombers, bombers, bombers everywhere.
Advantage, I'll keep it.
We heard the umpire. Advantage called Parrish. I think for the second time has found Henderson in a similar spot this afternoon, but the Bombers are getting a lot of the football. Menzel, just half back in the wing. Long ball, Stanley. He's got a big advantage and probably pace-wise too over Gleeson. Partly lends Gleeson some support.
One of the things that pleased John Worsfold early on in the game, 7-3 in the clearances. Essendon actually ranked 17th for clearances at the moment.
Zach Smith tried to take it out of the air, couldn't quite. Parrish runs into Dangerfield. Dangerfield too strong, got away from Parrish in the end. The 1-2 with Kolajasny. Almost, not quite for Caddy. The former Cat in Kelly gives it off. Cockatoo pulls it to the top of the square. Here's a chance for Motlop. Pretty clever in these scenarios. Bagley will know that. Corrals him, Motlop. Little bit of a moonwalk over the top to Hawkins. Tries to get rid of Hartley. Hartley up to it, did well. Spilt ball to Merritt. Low ball, tough for Danaher. Lonergan.
Left it, beautiful play.
Now to McKenna, quickly, Goddard. Danaher knew the man was there and McKenna let it roll on by. Goddard, tackled by Gregson.
On the foot here. Geelong. Next step.
Had Merritt out wide then. Goddard, he should have given the ball off a lot quicker.
Selwood over the circles to Henderson. And now deep into the pocket. Menzel. Kelly. Kolajasny crashes through. Menzel goes and gets the football. Good tackle from Fantasia.
Well, you've got to say this about Essendon in the early part of this game. They've been extremely competitive. And even when they've messed up their disposal, they've actually had the numbers following up to be able to try and rectify the error.
Smith, clever tap from the two blitzers. Missed him in the end, but he knew what he was trying to do. McKenna threads it through the middle. Parrish.
It's a good kick.
Well, nothing was doing down the ground, so laterally went to a man who was going to get to the football in Gleeson. Tries to get away from Lang. Couple of country kids doing battle on the wing of the MCG. Brown tries to get through two Cats. Lost the footy. Laverde over the top. Finds Harry Taylor.
There's always going to be a real area of concern, that forward 50 entries for the Bombers, sitting 15th in the competition for forward 50s marks. They only had the one so far by Laverde. Just need to be a lot more settled going forward, lowering the eyes. They don't have the tools to compete in the air.
A few times the umpire has called not 15 play on. Keep an eye on that this afternoon. Looks like you need to do more than just the short ball these days. They've been really hot on it all year. Menzel doesn't find his man, wanted Smith. Found a man that he used to try and find on a weekly basis. Certainly at training. Stokes, former Cat, finds Fantasia.
This is where they've had trouble. Wish I talked about that before. Just being able to penetrate through the midsection of the ground and find something in deep in their own forward half, the Bombers.
Especially after getting that intercept possession, they need to be able to go quickly and execute well.
It's a good defence, though, that's set up by Geelong.
Well, Zaharakis and Gleeson can work this through. Gleeson just goes between a couple of Cats and delivers perfectly to Leuenberger. Well done, young Marty Gleeson. Terrific finish and nice composure.
That's the difference, isn't it? If you can carry it to that part of the ground and then the pressure's not on you for that last kick. For much of this first quarter, Geelong have been able to pressure that kick and Essendon haven't been able to find that space. But good pass from Gleeson on that occasion.
Played 3 games, Leuenberger, for the Bombers, yet to kick a major for them. Won't do it here.
It was great support running from Zaharakis to take the second opponent out of that contest and allowed Marty Gleeson also to look inboard from there.
So Ruggles, just game 2, has the onus to find a target, finds him easily in Dangerfield. Here we go, the catcher on out the back. Hawkins, well, a couple of runners are coming. One is Stanley, he's a really fast mover. Hawkins thinks about going over the top. Well, he does in the end, and just an ordinary kick. He had a man on short in Lamb. Stanley was running early and got caught in between and confused himself. Gleeson's covering some miles. The match where we're celebrating regional Victoria. Gleeson, the boy from Koroit. Dairy farming stock himself. A few spuds and onions along the way, but certainly a country family doing great things. Here's a chance. Bartel straight away, tackled this time by Zach Merritt. Couldn't go anywhere.
Just rolled him enough, Zach Merritt, not to give the free kick away to Bartel there. He's almost got the free kick in the back.
He's almost having to comb his beard just 3 rounds into his full year of beard growing for domestic violence, raising awareness to it. You sense that he's going to look pretty rugged by the end of the home and away season. Danaher, low ball, it'll skip out. Umpires will talk, look, throw it in.
He did that cleverly because there was nothing on down the field, but he kicked the ball into the ground. I think he just created that element of doubt in the umpire's mind about the deliberate nature of it.
Seemingly, if you're going forward, it's never as deliberate as if you're going from half-back. If you're sort of kicking to half-forward, the umpire, I think, thinks at least you're trying to keep the ball in. Stanley's on again. This should result in a goal. Stanley's got the pace. He should be able to outrun anyone coming at him. The ball should sit. He should goal, and he does. When you see a man that's won a grand final sprint by about 15 metres run at a ball, you think someone's got to be quick to close, and particularly when he had a 15-metre start on the Essendon followers. But McDonald, Tip and Woody did close.
He's been working back hard inside 50 the last couple of times, Reece Stanley, and we saw Tom Hawkins look back and second-guess himself before. That time he definitely had the space to kick.
Well, this is like the modern construction of a goal there. Over the top of the defences, they've all pushed up the ground, and then Stanley getting out the back. He's best in space, that guy. You can't catch him.
For a big man, he has got real motor. So too Blitzarves. Big frames, unbelievably agile. Chance for Stokes. Well, he ran into Blitzarves on that occasion. The ball was unkind. Through the middle they come again. The Cats caddy to Gregson. Few options. One over the top, Hawkins. He can go over the top too. Pulls the kick. Terrific vision in the end. Menzel runs onto the ball. Well delivered by Hawkins.
That's great ball movement there by Geelong.
Josh Caddy's been influential in this first quarter. He's had 10 disposals already, 6 contested possessions.
Daniel, at your line. Mark's here. 15 seconds.
So brilliant on this ground on a Friday night against the Pies after missing 1,500 odd days of football. One last week. Not one yet.
Cats are doing a great job of opening up their forward line, obviously with a younger, inexperienced Bombers back line. They're following the man too often, and Geelong are reading that, trying to get 2-on-1s, and why they're getting the outs out the back so easy.
Goddard to a one-on-one. In the end, Bird and Bartel flew. Caddy crashed through. Chance for Bird to get the footy again. Taken high. Langford happy to give it back.
That's not the one-on-one you go to, the guy that's been manned up by Jimmy Bartel either. No. He's excellent in the year. What can we expect from Bird this year? What sort of football do you reckon he's still got left in him?
Oh, I think he still moves very well. He's a very strong runner, but I think he gives that two-way running as well. Ability to close down if you need be when they've got some attacking players around the footy.
Just 6 games last year for the Swans, Jude. You sense he's made a business decision, wants more game time.
Oh, definitely. He wants to be a part of the footy club, and it was a good decision for him to get a bit more game time.
Good movement here from the Bombers. Through they come. Kelly, couple of options. Short to Fantasia, over the top to Merritt. Goes the latter option. Merritt puts it in front. Well, tough for McKenna in the end.
That was great ball movement from the other side of the ground. They tried to, well, they did. They shifted the Geelong's defence so that they could find that space. It's just that last kick, that last bit of class and skill inside their 50.
Stanley, really good tap to Duncan. Into Bartel. 2 Bombers. Just Menzel. Well, Bagley plays so well in the air for a man that doesn't have a great deal of height. Speaking of short men, short kick perfect from McDonald, Tip and Woody. Hits Bird on the chest.
That's the kick. That last one where you go inside your attacking 50, really smart. He lowered his eyes. There are options a little bit deeper. He chose the first one. It was the best one. And now they set up another goal-kicking opportunity.
So Bird, who didn't play last week, can kick his first goal in Essendon colours and put the Bombers back in front. Little shuffle from the umpire, minor score only. So the Cats at quarter time lead by a solitary point. 2-3-15, the Bombers 2-2-14. Zaharakis and Laverde got the first 2 goals of the afternoon, and Caddy and Stanley got the next 2 for the Cats. The Cats lead by just a point at quarter time. The Bombers have been really impressive. Laverde back for the Bombers for the first time this year. Kicked the second goal, put the Bombers up by 10 points. Lively start. Bagley's been terrific in the air. Zaharakis has a goal. Let's go downstairs. Andrew Welsh is alongside the Bombers' former senior coach, now in charge of plenty of the Cats. Welshie.
Well, not a scrappy first quarter. The Bombers certainly are putting on the pressure. Yeah, they were. I thought they were better in the contest. We got first look at the ball a few times and couldn't quite handle it, and that was probably due to their pressure. So we just got to be a bit surer in the contest and then let our attack work from there. Also, we didn't defend well. They had chains of handballs and uncontested marks, which we need to improve in that area. Making the most of the opportunities in front of goal. We spent a lot of time out in the ground before the game. Was that to talk about the wind and making the most of that? Pretty much. A little bit about our tactics for the day, but also about conditions of the MCG, which can be a little bit different at times. But just to get the group together and sort of highlight what we're going to achieve today. Thanks for your time. Good luck. Thanks.
Talking about highlighting the uncontested possessions there up on the screen a moment ago, 93-63. That's all about mindset and pressure, and I think that would have been the concentration of the quarter-time message from Chris Scott. Let's get onto them a lot quicker and pressure them, because when we turn over, we've got the opportunity then to go back the other way and score. And they did that well in that first quarter, but they just didn't get enough looks, the Cats.
Second chapter about to be written in this round 4 encounter. Saturday afternoon football at the MCG, the Power Core Country Games, celebrating regional Australia and all they've done for not only football but Australia as a whole. Bombers again win the clearance. To centre half forward and ridden hard into the ground and getting up gingerly is Stokes.
Sometimes that can be the most dangerous thing you can do to the opposition, and that's just kick the ball off the ground. Just keep it alive, keep it moving your way.
Chance for the flying Danaher, knocked to ground. Selwood couldn't quite control the footy. In the end, Burgess dished off. Fantasia. Here's a chance. Cooney not quite. Murdoch, Mackie improvises, bouncing sort of a ball for Lang to deal with. At front spot against Gleeson, just coming and sort of trying to mop up. In the end with Stokes' fumble.
That kick from Mackie is one of the great changes of the game, because in the past, Jude, he would have just kicked it down the line.
Dribbled along the line.
He had to think, then he had to keep the ball alive.
I love the way Cooney, though, got straight to his feet to put pressure on, and that's what drew that extra stoppage inside 50.
Leuenberger won the battle of strength, couldn't find a Bombers jumper though. Ruggles got tackled, got boot to ball. Gwilt goes back to the flight, marks in front of Hawkins. Well, here's a chance for the Bombers, bit of a wait, but Fantasia will quickly move it on. I was going to say be thinking about going for home. McKenna, a chance, a fumble, then tackled, did well, just strong, stood up, found Kelly. Mitch Brown tackled by Mackie, lost the footy, had his opportunity.
Just that moment lost there with Connor. The kick had to hit the target, it didn't, and then that kept the Cats alive in the contest, and in the end they just had the numbers there.
Andrew Mackie, game 239. Blitzards, Gregson on his bike immediately, was running by, knew how it was going to play out. A couple of bounces, thinks about handballing back inside, ends up going wide to Menzel. From 60, pulls the kick. Murdoch is a chance, but umpire said, can't let that go by.
It's a blind opportunity there by Geelong. They had a 4-on-2 in their forward line. They just couldn't get the ball there quickly enough to the right space.
Cooney wise enough to feel the contact and ensure anyone wearing lime saw it. Bartel, full stretch. Merritt did well, kept it in. Back it comes. Zaharakis, back to Merritt.
His numbers right now are elite as a midfielder, Zach Merritt.
He's had an extraordinary start, hasn't he? 31, 32 and 28 in the opening 3 rounds, opening 30, averaging 30. Ruggles, well, Danaher, golden opportunity. Bombers were away and through. Bartel in traffic. Lang got a few to beat, knocked away pretty easily. Cockatoo waits. Blitzards couldn't take it cleanly. D. Gleeson feeds it through. Fantasia, back it comes. McKenna to Zaharakis to Goddard. Now a bit of a dilemma.
Joey Danaher just signalled to him just to slow it down. They needed to reset their forward line. Be a long kick down the line.
Danaher just pointed to the pocket. Goddard obliges. Monaghan and Taylor done that before.
It still has to be kicked to advantage, though. At least put it in the air to a particular side. He just kicked it well over his head then. Lonergan, no chance.
Lonergan wasn't even going for the ball. His number one job was just to body Danaher out of the contest.
Look away from Menzel, found the skipper in Selwood. Guthrie just brushed away from Merritt. Guthrie backs himself for speed. Wanted to go over the top, I think, to Hawkins. Motlop Finds neither. He watches on as D just pulls the kick short. Finds Ambrose and back it goes to Gwilt. Well, Kelly is on. Blitzarves will be the man that closes down. Well, man making space is Cooney. Now, how do they think and work through this problem they've got?
The dominating possession, yes, and they just need to have that composure going inside 50.
Yours.
Long way round. And through the middle to Bagley. He spoke earlier to me. He's great in the air. He's only 180 centimetres, but whether he's spoiling or taking grabs, he's often looking like he's a taller man.
It's a good decision, though. Once he started driving his head, you have to pay the free kick against.
Well, Dangerfield, I think, contemplated the long ball. Unselfish, went for Hawkins, but the Bombers have got the numbers, at least for the moment. Hartley, the Motlop at full stretch, might have just got a finger on it. Selwood held by Langford. Umpire says all fair in love and war. Parrish, it was a close run thing. Brown knocked it down, wanted Ambrose. Cockatoo pulls the kick to Dangerfield. Got a runner in Selwood. They combine again, that pair. Low ball, Hawkins. Oh, terrific from Hartley around the corner. Have a look at Corey Enright. He hasn't missed too much against the Bombers. The last time the Cats played the Bombers without Corey Enright was round 11, 2000. Cameron Ling at that stage played just one game. Bomber Thompson was coaching just his 11th in the Sydney Olympics. Hadn't even happened. So if you're watching on as a Bombers fan, he's missing. Being managed. Hartley, flew. And Motlop just sort of backs himself. Why wouldn't you? He's a marvel. Great goal. Cats get their third. A few players look like they've got more time than others. He's one of those. Mayhem doesn't seem to faze him. Happy just to sort of take all of those that are coming at him on. Normally gets through.
He's a superstar type player. I don't think that he has the consistency yet to be in that category, but every now and then you see moments of magic from him like we just saw then.
X Factor.
Well, look at the movement from Stephen Motlop. This is just fantastic. Football now, forward smart now, just inside 50 to wheel around and dob that one. Incredible goal.
Lundberger and Stanley, as they've done for much of the afternoon, do battle in the middle of the ground. Blitzarves, Caddy, Duncan. The Cats suddenly freewheeling a little. Caddy over the top, got a runner in Selwood, full stretch, doesn't break stride, back inside he comes. Who's at home for the Cats? Gregson. Whistle.
Once that pressure goes off, then they can pretty much do as they like, Geelong, and they'll monopolise and they'll control the footy. And on that occasion, it was just an errant handball then from Leuenberger in the middle of the ground that then caused the turnover. And then once that happened, they're a very, very good side, Geelong, with ball in hand.
Not sure whether I heard a whistle, but I think everyone just sort of said, close enough, Corey. Gregson kicks a goal, so suddenly the Bombers, with a bit of strife, Cats by 13. First two goals of this second term to the Cats. Motlop and Gregson. And a 1 point lead at quarter time. Gets out to 13 points, game high. Gregson, one of these Cats that yet to entrench himself, but I know they've got a big opinion of Corey Gregson. A lot of footy ahead in hoops.
We see here big Matty Leuenberg, just a turnover by hand. We saw the last goal that Motlop kicked was a turnover. So Essendon dominating the possession, 50 more possessions than the Cats, but they're such a good team. If you're missing those little handballs, those little 15-metre kicks, the Cats are too good of a side and they'll punish you every time.
Johnny Worsfold not afraid to put his kids in at the centre bounce. Parrish, Langford and Laverde, they're three midfielders in here.
So Laverde, 20 years of age. Parrish, he's 18. It's great to see what a year of experience they will get. Danaher, a youngster, crashing through. Ambrose tries to get through the Taylor tackle, didn't. Umpire lets it go. Duncan heard the voice. Merritt, well, he did well against College Asney. Then a little flick onto Langford. Cockatoo had it, lost it. Goddard Just sat on by Blitzarves. Cockatoo, hands and knees. Goddard fed it out to Stokes. High sort of a floating ball. Well, Selwood. Not often. He needs 2 takes. Merritt goes low. Merritt kicks a goal. You talk about his numbers being outstanding this year, but he can smell a goal too, can't he? He kicked 2 in the second round against the Demons, but he's got a goal sense.
Well, you go back to the year that he was drafted and you analyse it now, he's a top 10 pick.
Yep.
Essendon got him in the 20s, but he is one of the best of that group that came through that year. Certainly might even be in the top 5 if you go back and analyse his performance so far.
Well, here we see Joel Soward. You wouldn't often see this. Just a fumble inside defensive 50. Just sat under the high ball. And then Merritt was just able to swoop on that. Very good goal.
Kids in again.
Youth all around the football. Laverde over the top. Parrish. Look at the young terrier.
Number one question with tackles. The tackles this year, Parrish is number 1 at the club average. He averaged 6 tackles, which puts him in the top 20 in the competition as well. So for a young midfielder, he works hard on the inside, he works hard on the outside, both attackingly and defensively.
I'm told his brothers, Cassidy and Finlay and Indy, are all unbelievably good footballers too. Grew up at Winchelsea. Glenn and Ange, the parents, be watching on. Game 4. He's been, as Tim said, unbelievably aggressive and impressive.
The thing that had pleased Chris Scott a little bit was the fact that the Geelong have started to get on top in the clearances. 7 of the last 9. They've also scored from 4 of those.
Holding Essendon. Jump up. No. And then Leuenberger.
So this ball needed to get back quickly for Essendon because the moment is now lost for them to be able to switch the ball and move the ball quickly. Geelong get that opportunity, that 5 or 10 seconds, that's all it needs. That's critical for them to be able to set themselves up in the zone.
Wide ball, terrific in the end of Gwilt. Gregson is on his bike early, just stops Gwilt. Looked for a moment like he was going to be able to wheel onto his left and play on quickly. The Cats shut the Bombers down for the moment. Suddenly options are scarce. Mitch Brown to Gleeson. Duncan closes in, now to Zaharakis, fresh on the ground, a chance for Bird to combine with Zaharakis. Well, this might unravel. Nothing doing ahead for the Cats, so they're going to have to run hard. Duncan might just be happy to retreat. Murdoch, good take, back inside to Motlop. And some fumbling this afternoon from those that don't normally fumble. Well, Gleeson ran into Caddy, but a strong bull was able to take care of Marty Gleeson. Dangerfield, clean around his ankles. Straightens back up onto the right boot. Well, how would you like the ball to be delivered like that every week to you if you're a forward?
That is just individual brilliance, isn't it?
He was thinking about his left, stepped back inside onto his right, saw Menzel and hit him on the button.
That's a 50-metre pass that probably didn't travel any higher than about 2 metres.
So Daniel Menzel, game 25. Might come back. No, not at all.
Such a damaging player by foot, Dangerfield, as you saw there. You don't want him kicking inside 50 if you're the Bombers. You see the pass here, as Tim said, 50 metres. That's his 4th inside 50. Bombers have got to tighten up on Dangerfield delivering inside 50.
Lonergan, Taylor, Guthrie, Stanley, Danaher, Zaharakis. No one really taking a clean ball. Stanley does now. Tackle terrific from Ambrose. Ball forced to ground again. Just going back to you, Welshie, in regard to breeze down there, has it stayed relatively constant? Hasn't picked up at all?
No, it hasn't. It's traditional MCG breeze. It is swirling a lot. There is a little bit of light drizzle now, but hasn't changed from the start of the game. It's just blustering, not favouring any end, really.
Darcy Parish. Well done to Brown.
He's going to have to calm down here until the cavalry arrive.
So Mitch Brown, top of the square. Again, pretty easy pickings for the tools of the Cats.
I just love that last passage of play. At centre wing, Parish went to Dangerfield at the stoppage, but it was Parish then that darted out of that stoppage and was able to get the possession and get the ball moving for the Bombers. I love what Johnny Worsfold's doing with those young players, giving them plenty of experience. They're going to lower their colours at time, but this is invaluable experience for them around the contest and in playing against great players like Dangerfield and Selwood. No tagging there from the Bombers.
Dangerfield backing himself for pace. Well, the ball just spilled out of his hands. He didn't kick it as he would have liked, but when you've got a couple of Bombers chasing you in the middle of the ground, you look either left or right, and you can't find anyone that's going to keep up with it. It must be a pretty fun feeling.
There's some fans calling for delivery too.
They're looking for small mercies. Dangerfield just a glitch, and that was a ball drop. Darcy Parish. How exciting is he for Bombers fans? Stokes out of the air, almost in danger, but the umpire says high on Stokes.
We're also going to see someone like an Aaron Francis later on in the year as well, just another high draft pick as well. So there's a lot to like about the young Essendon players.
Essendon. Got him high.
They really tightened up on that 15-metre kick.
I reckon 4 or 5 times today we've heard not 15 play on, where historically I think maybe we would have all thought that's enough. But back to Darcy Parish and Laverde, and it's going to be another year where it's going to be tough for the club. So small glimpses of the future are going to be what Bombers fans are looking at. And Parish is a look at the future in a big way. Henderson happy to go back. Lonergan missed last week with a tweak, the calf, rested. Well done, good talk on the other side. Dangerfield called Blitzarves out of it. Now to Mackie.
Good Blitzarves run.
He's a unique player, unbelievable.
Almost goes 2 to 1 to most people's stride. Well done, Gregson. Clean pick up. Handball not quite to Duncan. A couple of premiership teammates do battle. Parish, Gleeson, Laverde, Bird, McDonald, Tippenwoody. Wide ball to Gwilt with a bit of space. Now this is where it suddenly gets tricky. Langford, got a Brownlow medalist to deal with, came back inside. Bird arched his back, got away from Henderson. Back it goes. Gwilt, they retreat, they keep hold of the footy for the moment, the Bombers. Now Danaher or bust in the middle of the ground. Cats at the fall of the ball. Support comes, guess who? Darcy Parish, Zaharakis, McDonald, Tippenwoody. He's got some pace, just slows up, doesn't get flustered. Well, misses Parish in the end. Cooney over the top, here we go. Fantasia, back inside. This would be a terrific goal. It's to the left and stays left.
Just lost his composure there. Did a great job getting around the first player. There's Zach Merritt, who was in the goal square on his own. He's saying, what about me? But what about Tippenwoody? He actually had 3 possessions then. He started at half back. He was involved in the next passage of play and then got into the midfield too. He's really worked on his endurance over the break and has become a really important player for the Bombers.
10 touches at 100% for McDonald, Tippenwoody. And there was a great article written a couple of weeks ago on McDonald, Tippenwoody, talking about how at 17 he left the Tiwi Islands, 80 kilometres north of Darwin, to start his football journey. He was adopted by the McDonald family at Gippsland, 3 years there, 3 years in the Essendon VFL, and he's been given his chance and he's really grabbed hold of every opportunity so far. Made every post a winner. Great story. Ruggles, he waited a long time too to get a run for the Cats. His second outing today, back inside to Mackie. He's been a permanent fixture for a long time. Now Selwood through the middle. Wait, a few options up. Menzel is on if they can get it to him. Duncan, well, there's a few options. There's 3 of them. Menzel, he'll just continue to roll on. He'll either kick the goal or go over the top. The ladder is on. Cockatoo kicks a goal. Options everywhere in the end. It was Selwood's decision-making in the middle that really helped out. He was going to go wide and then came back inside to plenty of runners, and once he came back inside, it was a formality.
That's modern footy, isn't it, Tim? Just that ability to work up, transition so well. They could raffle it once they were going inside 50. They had uncontested players working back hard towards the goal square.
Well, their transition again was really good, Geelong. Once they got out into that clear space, they had their numbers running towards goal. And it was just a matter of raffling it.
Well, it seems fitting. We've got the cockatoo causing some havoc during the inaugural country game, where we're acknowledging and recognising the enormous contribution of our farming and regional communities.
Sensational grab by Henderson, just their courage to cut across. Huge effort.
The Cats are clearly trying to use that advantage of that spread when they do get the overlap run on the Bombers. They've gone extremely small up forward. Stanley, the only guy with any height up there. So they're noticing they're getting him on the flip side and they can take most advantage of the speed.
It's a good point, Woosha, but at the other end too, we haven't seen Joey Danaher take a mark yet. And Geelong have really worked him out. They've got two players generally down there to pick him up.
Well, pushed out of it, Merritt, quickly over the top, well-weighted ball too to Connor McKenna.
So Essendon just need to find one of those other clearer targets and just lower their eyes and just shift the movement of the ball.
The Irishman contemplates plenty of options, decides to go low to the lead of Ambrose.
It was a poor turnover. The fact that Blitzav's had the match-up on Zach Merritt and still gave away the hands in the back, he just needed to sit on him, use the body, and then they would have transferred up the field.
A lot of hoop jumpers in your screen. Tough here for Essendon. Leuenberger, just a little flick out the back, hoping for Parrish. Couldn't have been any more impressive so far this year, Darcy Parrish. Stokes, terrific. Merritt on his wrong side, right boot into the pocket, going back with a flight. Well, I think it was Henderson, fearless. Didn't get hands on the footy. Taylor, well played. Low ball, terrific from Zach Merritt. Dangerfield was away. Closing quickly was Merritt.
He's outstanding, this kid.
Youngster from Cobden. Top of the square. Big fly from Danaher, through a few fingers. Here's a chance for the Irishman. Bartel just drag him to the line.
Don't you love a young kid like a Merritt and a Parrish who actually work both ways, are happy to get their hands dirty? Here's that tackle again. Doesn't give a free kick away, just gave Dangerfield just a little bit of push on the way back up too.
Third year, hardly missed a game since debut. Fantasia comes back inside, Lang tackled, kick. Well, I'm not sure whether it was impeded or not. Pressure was on, Bartel sweeping on the last line. Taylor, well, that floats a long time. Tough in the end for Gregson. Kelly hurdles, goes low, kick impeded. Guthrie goes back searching for the loose football, jumps over the top of Fantasia. Blitzard, who's just an extraordinary build to be roving around a football ground.
It's amazing to think that he's a midfielder.
Sorry, Tim, we spoke about some of the exciting young Bombers. One of those is Jaden Laverde. Had an interrupted pre-season with a bad ankle, has come off straight down the race, which what looks to be a right shoulder.
Back inside, that's disappointing news. Well, she keep us updated as D heads towards the boundary in a tackle, and well, it was okay.
Here's the injury there. Laverde just been crunched there, just underneath that contest, and then his arm just took the full weight of that impact.
Well, kicked the second goal for the Bombers this afternoon. First game back. Brown goes back with a fight, did well against Henderson, and now all about finishing things off.
First game up against his old club. He'd love to go back here and try and slot this one.
So Mitch Brown, long time on the list. Went via Sandringham to get to the Bombers. Check side. Well done, Mitch Brown. Mitch, a part of the short-term top-up players early last year, as half the list was provisionally suspended, taken permanently in the 2015 draft, and hasn't missed a game so far this year. His third goal. Tall frame, still needs a little muscle on it, but he's proved very helpful from a Bombers standpoint this year.
There's his arm getting caught underneath him there. Henderson coming down hard on him. You can just see him writhing in pain on the ground there. There's no protection for his shoulder.
So the 20-year-old is off the ground. Andrew Welsh will keep us updated as to his progress. Parrish pull of the ball. Well done, Cooney, Goddard, Leuenberger, Smith closes in, back to Cooney, into space, perfect. McKenna again. Short ball, is it 15?
Hold it.
Clearances now 21. 11 Essendon's way. So against a really highly credentialed midfield, they're more than holding their own at the moment, and that's why they are still in this game.
And they've had the last 10 clearances, but also 8 of the last 9 inside 50. So getting a little bit of momentum through this last period.
Young South Australian, Fantasia, to kick his first of the year. He said it's on its way. Terrific finish. Bombers back-to-back goals.
I like the run and the energy that he's providing out there for Essendon too. He came to the club as a really skinny kid. He was a small forward playing in South Australia, and they've been able to reinvent him in some way by putting him in the back half. He's been able to provide run, but he's got a great tank. He's got real speed off the mark as well, and that's a good finish from him. There's a kick there by Orazio. Started his career as a forward, came across. They played him down in defence, but he's providing great run for the club, particularly in the midfield.
They had 3 games in 2014 and 5 games last year, including the final 3 after a tough run with injury. Stanley bursts out of the middle of the ground. Dangerfield. Well done, Bagley. He does enough, Bagley, almost always.
Yeah.
Sensational work by Reece Stanley, though, to just don't argue the strength and size out of the middle to force that way inside 50.
Well, Fantasia kicked the goal at the other end of the ground, now takes on Bartel. Bartel, clever, just slaps it into a little bit of space. Mitch Duncan works it quickly to the top of the square. Hawkins almost. Some bodies on the ground. One of them is Dangerfield. The other Bagley just holding his ankles.
They just get the legs taken from under him, Dangerfield, and landed right on the coccyx bone. It's never a good one.
That's great forward pressure, though.
Weekly assault on the body this game. And Cockatoo, he kicked the last for the Cats, 2 for the Bombers since then. Cats by 1, Cockatoo. Makes it Cats by 2.
We were right behind that. That looked everything a goal, didn't it? They took a deviation very late. Hartley needs to be told not to kick the ball in the air to Jimmy Bartel.
Cloudy skies, Saturday afternoon, round 4 action. Cats by just a couple of points. Punchy Bombers so far this afternoon. McKenna coming in for his first game of the year. Fantasia kicked the last for the Bombers. Langford, well done. Threads it through. McDonald, Tippenwoody. Again not flustered. Not quite the kick he was hoping for. Bouncing ball. Favours the Cats. Kolajasny. Got support. Motlop. Out the side door they go. Monaghan.
That was a poor kick then by Tippenwoody. Most of the time when he's had control of the ball, he's made the right decision. He should have just taken the easier option, which was out wide.
You'd see the pressure of modern footy, though, through the midfield. He only had a split second to make his mind up. If he had a stand a little bit left, there might have been other options.
Mackie sort of a 7-iron to the wing, didn't thump the ball. Hartley tried to thump it away. Stanley did well. Cockatoo again, Bagley in the right spot at the right time twice.
It's like a pinball, isn't it? Their pressure has been really good around the ball, Essendon. Again, they'd be really happy with that first half of football.
You just can't fault the effort.
No, you can't.
A couple of times the skill execution not as the Bombers would have liked, but they are right in this game. 5-6 to 5-4. Kevin Sheedy special at halftime. Geelong at halftime by just 2 points.
Yeah, welcome back. Great game at the MCG. The Bombers fighting back. They're 14 points down at quarter time. 2-2-14 to 4-4-28. But in that last, as you saw in the second quarter, Bombers kicking the last 2 goals of the term to get it back to within 2 points. 5-4-34. Geelong 5-6-36 in the other game. Hawthorn 32 lead. St Kilda 14. 5-2-32 to 2-2-14. We'll get highlights of that game coming up after the break. We'll do it shortly.
You're watching Cheap Super Saturday.
Roosters crowing, winds ain't blowing, corn ain't growing, old man's down on the farm.
Yeah, both types of music at the MCG today, country and western. It's a beauty as the Kevin Sheedy-inspired Country Day at the footy. Essendon versus Geelong, the city and the country. And it's a pretty tough affair at the moment. Good game of football with Essendon trailing by 2 points, kicking last 2 goals of that term. So at half-time, it is Essendon 5-4-34 to Geelong 5-6-36. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, 14 points of difference in Geelong's favour at quarter-time, 2-2-14 to 4-4-28. Let's have a look at the highlights from the opening half of football at the G. David Zaharakis shows good hands at the stoppage, hits the opening goal of the game for the Bombers. Big Zach Smith take a huge pack mark. Have a look at this one. Yoti. Cats on the fast break. Tom Hawkins to Reece Stanley after this mark for an easy goal. And the Cats take the lead and lead by 14 points. Into the second quarter now. Steve Motlop, the crumb at the back, finds a bit of space, does it well, dances and kicks the goal. Joel Selwood stands underneath the high ball, drops the put though. Zach Merritt dribbles the goal. Uncharacteristic mistake by the captain. Cats on the break. Duncan and Menzel to Cockatoo. Great team goal here by the Cats. Just open them up beautifully over the top like Chinese checkers. But pretty much on the bell, Orazio Fantasia, beautiful set shot goal, and that made scores level before the Cats kicked 2 further behinds to lead by 2 points at half time, 5-4-34 to 5-6-36. So there you go, that's the half-time score there. Let's have a look at the other game down at Aurora Stadium, where the Hawks are going pretty well. The Saints are fighting back though, which is good news for the Saints. This is the update score at the moment, 5-2-32 to 3-2-20 at quarter time. Hawks led by 18 points, 5-2-32 to St Kilda, 2-2-14. Let's have a look at the highlights of that first quarter. The Saints start off well. Sean Dempster put his claim in for Mark of the Year. We'll see that in a few moments' time. But here's Sicily kicking the first goal of the game. Silrioli, as always, in magnificent form. Look at that. Just holds his space beautifully. Hang time and then kicks the goal. Gives the Hawks an early 2-goal lead. The Saints were playing pretty good football though. They were great last week, going from back line to forward line, and they did it again. And Nick Riewoldt at his very best brings the margin back to a goal. Again, the Saints turn the ball over at centre half back, and Isaac Smith makes everyone pay, and he does on this occasion for the Saints. Running through from just inside the 50, kicks another beautiful goal. Loney gets a lucky free kick, brings the Saints back within a kick. And Jonathan Segler was playing really well. Got a little push out in the pack there, gets a free kick, gives the Hawks some breathing room, and then Jonathan Segler at his very best. Watch this for a big high-marking ruckman going across the front of the pack. That's the way you want to see your ruckman take marks in the forward line. And again, he goes back from the set shot from point-blank range and kicks his second of the game. All right, so again, those scores, Hawks at the moment, 39-20, so they've kicked a goal while we've been talking, and Essendon at quarter-time trailing Geelong by 2 points, 5-4-34 to 5-6.
Mickey Martin assaulted you that day, punched you in the face with you on the ground, correct?
Yeah, he did, yeah. Yep.
Nothing came of that. Mick played in the premiership team a week later.
Yeah, that's right. I got told, they're investigating it at the AFL. I went in there not believing there was sort of vision of it, and I mean, I guess I lived under the old footy rule of, particularly grand field. Yeah, particularly grand final week, looking after the opposition and things. And I mean, I was really disappointed because I suffered, particularly my left side, eye vision problems for a while.
For months.
Yeah, for months. Yep. Blurred vision, but at the same time, I understood it was grand final week, and I was happy to look after him.
Look forward to seeing Open Mic with Mike Sheen on Tuesday night with Simon Black. One of the few downsides of Simon Black's magnificent career. Brownlow medal and Norm Smith medal, 3 premierships for Simon Black, one of the all-time great players of the Brisbane Lions. All right, we're heading back to Essendon and Geelong shortly. Before we do that, though, if you're on the move today, you want to get onto this. You can watch Fox Sports anytime, anywhere on your device with Foxtel Go, including every AFL match of every round live. I love this when I'm getting out and about. The best of all, it's included as part of your Foxtel subscription, so no extra to pay. Foxtel Go, download the app now, and it's as simple as just getting your app there, and you've got the footy, you've got everything that's happening on Fox Sports wherever you go all the time. It's great stuff. Just having a quick flick up, the Saints have kicked 3 goals in a row to be in front of Hawthorn by a goal. So the Saints are playing great footy. They have come back, as I said, 3 consecutive goals to lead 44-38 against Hawthorn with about 8 3/4 minutes to go in the second term. Meantime, back at the MCG, we've got a ripper. Essendon playing great football, 5-4-34. Trail Geelong by 5-6-36. Has been tight all day. Point the difference at quarter time. Essendon 2-2-14. Geelong 2-3-15. But we're almost ready for a start again at the MCG. As I said, it's the Saints by a goal with 8.5 minutes to go in the second term. Let's get back to the footy.
Tom Lonergan's still got the match-up on Danaher. Danaher yet to take a mark in that first half.
Second half almost underway. Smith, another one of these tall cats who's pretty nimble about the place. Off the ground bird. Ended up following up his toe poke. Guthrie did well, almost lost his balance to Selwood. Now to Ruggles. Guthrie. Ruggles again. Game 2.
Cross in the back, Geelong. Kick. Thanks, Joe. Play on.
So Guthrie, who's become really important to this Geelong outfit. Low ball diving grab. Well taken by Hawkins.
Play on.
Quickly, just leaves Hartley behind. Top of the square. Again, Stanley. This time it's Smith. Just drifting in from the side. Cockatoo. He was contemplating how to work it around Kelly. Kelly did well. Interesting, the Cats. They lost to Stevie J's new firm in round 2 after being so impressive in round 1. Businesslike and brilliant at times last week against the Lions, the Cats.
Thanks, Stephen.
A couple of former Cats, Stokes and Kelly.
I'll be Mark, that's it.
One of those. Doing well against the old firm.
Move it on. Yours.
Can they maintain their competitiveness for this second half?
Disposal, Essendon. Geelong, sorry, against Essendon. Thanks, Craig. Play on.
Bird caught quickly. Taylor to Selwood. Motlop, Parrish amongst it all again. Cooney, Stokes threading it through. Parrish.
Well worked.
He's stunning, Parrish. Just love watching him play. Zaharakis took too long. The young Cockatoo.
He just looked up and had nothing on offer. Mitch Brown needed to work hard back in.
Cockatoo. Blitzarv's got himself in the right spot, but then a fist from the jumper wearing black and white. Almost in for Hawkins to go again.
It's dangerous punching the ball that way. I mean, you've got to try and kill it if you can. Look at the Cockatoo just running Zaharakis down.
That's it.
He's fit to this or not? Yep, he did.
Well done, Goddard. Zaharakis scooped it up to Kelly. Wide to Gwilt. Got a runner in Merritt who's been spectacular. Not just today, but all year. Bagley to the advantage of Cooney. Off he goes. Now one-on-one on the wing. McKenna and Mackie. The old and the new.
There wasn't much in that, to be honest. Mackie just had enough hand on Connor McKenna just to give away the free kick, but he did so well to get that spoil as well.
Game 3 for McKenna. One of the highlights of last year was listening to his press conference on debut. I listened to him, didn't understand a thing, but I listened to him. Seemingly a ripping fella. Goddard gets through a couple of Cats and then sends it to 2 Cats. One of them is Dangerfield. Stanley out over the back. We know about his pace. We know about the Dangerfield delivery. Well, it was outstanding from Dangerfield and sloppy from Brendan Goddard.
It's a poor turnover, isn't it, Tim?
I can't believe what he tried to do then. And where he actually aimed the ball for somebody that's so experienced.
Rhys Stanley looks like he's got the licence just to hunt back towards a goal inside 50 as soon as there's a turnover.
The interesting thing about who Goddard chose was McDonald, Tip and Woody. I mean, he's no higher than a can of paint.
Yeah.
And amongst 2 Cats with plenty more leap. He was always going to be disadvantaged. The result is Stanley, and the result is only a minor score.
Well, he should have made Essendon pay for that turnover at half-back. But they moved the ball well to that point of the ground, but that is just a very kickable shot at goal.
Geelong 5'8", 2-6 of their 5'8 is from set shots, and many of them within range.
Play on.
That's better from Goddard onto the chest of his man in Stokes, wide to McKenna. Is that fairly left? Yeah. It's interesting their interpretation so far today. A couple of balls that you thought were not quite have been allowed, and those that you thought were far enough have been called play on. Zaharakis amongst 3 Cats.
The build-up by the Bombers so far today has been pretty good. They've just been using the ball. It's that kick in at half forward that's been letting them down. They need to control it through that area, because back of the half forward line, they've actually been controlling it pretty well.
Sometimes their skill execution has let them down like that, Welsh, but they don't seem to have been flustered or rushed.
No, which is the best thing from a young group. They don't get down themselves. They turn something over. They're taking the game on at least all over. Their intensity, their tackling. They turn over by kick, by foot or by hand. They're getting straight back on. They're reverting into defence, which is a great sign for a young group.
Something's a bit down the line here.
I think Geelong need to take the game on a little bit more, put some real pressure on Essendon when they move the ball.
They were so impressive in the opening round against the Hawks. The run and gun attitude today, they've been slowed up, whether that's themselves or whether it's the Bombers doing the slowing. Motlop, he's already got one. Won't score a goal here. Menzel to Stanley, a fumble, a gather, a give, over the top. Hawkins, too hot.
They found a way to muck it up. As you see here, fumble, opportunity, then and just a quick handball over the top, just overcooked it from Hawkins.
The man that wore hoops for so long, 273 games. Stokes, only 9 Cats have played more. Players against them for the first time this afternoon.
Right now, the game's still there for the taking, isn't it? I mean, Geelong, I expected that they would have come out after half-time and they would have really blasted Essendon and put some real pressure. But they're just sitting back at the moment.
It allows Essendon to dictate the pace of the game, and this is what they've done so well. They've been able to chip the ball around. You can see someone like Wilt's had 11 marks.
And they've still got confidence too, Essendon. I mean, they haven't been blown away.
This is his 12th mark now.
15 marks already for the Bombers, make it 16 chipping around in this term. So the Cats by 5 points, but the Bombers playing with great confidence and belief.
Great kick there by Goddard. There's only a couple of players on the ground for Essendon that would have been able to take that kick.
Out the back, Cooney. Henderson got a fist onto it. It's going to stay in. The ball just skips into the hands of Gregson. Cooney takes the youngster from South Australia over the line. I think we've been sensing for basically an hour of football. The Cats will get hold of this in a moment, but the Bombers, to their credit, haven't allowed that to happen. And when the Cats kick 4 in a row, the Bombers kick 3 of the next 4. Selwood to Hawkins, who's a long way from where Chris Scott would like him. Ruggles. Kick had to be perfect. Mackie had his hands onto it. Again, the pressure comes from the Bombers players. Blitzarves had it and immediately set upon from a couple of Bombers. One from the left, one from the right. And this is all you can ask for if you're John Worsfold.
That's a hallmark of his side over the year and the way they've played defensively. They've always been a strong tackling side.
Cooney.
West Coast Eagles were.
Worked it into safe hands. And then by hand to Zach Merritt. Chance for Danaher. Was he taken high? There's a chance for the Bombers to get back in front.
John Worsfold's sides were always hard sides to play against. I mean, there were the non-negotiables, and that was that you had to be fierce at the ball. And if you got the opportunity, there's a whack across the face there for Danaher of his free kick.
Yeah, he certainly have been able to adapt the modern style of football to this, but yeah, there is some non-negotiables. There's certainly, this day and age, you need your intercept marks, you need your front half pressure, but they are tough to play on.
5-6 for the year for Danaher, his first score of the afternoon. Just narrow. I mean, you had those wonderful battles for a long time due against the Eagles, and Paul Roos indoctrinated his style. It wasn't dissimilar, it was just combative, dog-eat-dog. Every ball had to be hard won, and the Bombers, after 3.5 games, have seemingly adopted that tough approach. Terrific this afternoon, terrific in the second game of the year against the Demons. Back to earth a little last Friday night against the Power.
Hold, David!
But when you're so heavily undermanned, effort is an absolute paramount.
Well, it just gives you a chance to be competitive and just be amongst the game.
Lang ran into a big tackling Hartley.
That was the thing that was so disappointing against Port Adelaide last week. They only had 4 tackles inside 50 and there's no front half pressure.
Guthrie this time helps out Stanley and Henderson. Selwood was thinking about what to do with the football, just couldn't quite control it to get rid of it. If the Cats thought they were going to come here today and run the Bombers ragged, the Bombers have absolutely stopped them from doing that. They're going to have to try and work out another way. Ruggles' desperation sees the ball over.
Plus, they've also got a very tough run coming up as well. They've got 2 trips to Adelaide in the next 4 weeks, as well as Gold Coast and West Coast in there as well. So some tough games coming up for Geelong. They need to get on top in this second half.
Big difference from 3-1 or 2-2 after 4 outings. At this point, the Cats by 4 points. 4 points not assured. Lang, top of the square. Long wait for Gwilt. Gleeson comes back. Smith had front spot, but the help arrived. Gleeson off the ground. Now a foot race almost for McKenna, but not quite.
They just can't get anything going, Geelong, can they? And it's just that defensive pressure that's being applied by the Bombers, which is just enough to stall them when they go forward.
Essendon are leading in every statistical area apart from contested marks at the moment, so there's some real worries for Chris Godstone.
Former Sun and a former Lion battle out. Langford at the fall of the ball. Smith becomes a tackler.
We're sort of sitting down here at ground level. There's a funny feel. It just feels you're waiting for Geelong to take the game by the scruff of the neck. Maybe they did underestimate the Bombers coming into this game, resting Enright so early in the year. Maybe they just had a mindset of they weren't going to be able to put up a challenge like they have the Bombers.
A couple of the youngsters, Fantasia, Merritt, now Leuenberger, and now Zaharakis all combined to the wing. The ball flies. Brown had to beat a good one, and that was Taylor.
Fantasia's been good, hasn't he?
Yeah.
In as much as he's been able to provide some real run, he handballs, he overlaps. He's been able to get him out of some tricky situations this afternoon.
300 gamer watches on from the stands, and I suggest you'd be watching on anxiously at the moment. Former teammate of his to the run of D. Perfect kick from James Kelly, now deep into the pocket. Use of the body okay on the first man, which was Lonergan, but support arrived from Henderson.
Gee, they work well together, don't they? I mean, Henderson's been a great acquisition to that back 3. Last year it was Jared Rivers, and the year before was Jared Rivers playing that role. While they've got Harry and they've still got Lonergan and now they've got Henderson, I mean, they've got real strength with their tools down there.
Collar Jasny working himself into that back 6 and seemingly going to be around a long time. So they're blessed with good, cool heads back there with big, tall frames, and they've got a great synergy. But at the moment,
well, last time they were at this part of the ground, though, they were able to conjure a goal, the Bombers.
Can they hear? Smith, no clear win. Zaharakis pulls Ruggles away from the ball. Ruggles will get the free kick, didn't take possession.
It's been really well organised, as we see again here, Essendon. Just being able to close off a few outlets, stop the leading lanes, force this one down the line.
Mature recruit, Ruggles, 23-year-old. Hawkins. There's 3 Bombers under the cap, and that's just how they've played their football this afternoon. Get to the loose ball, provide a contest, tackle the man wearing hoops. McDonald, Tippenwoody, clean from Parrish. Back to McDonald, Tippenwoody. Now to Gwilt. Loose man is on in Gleeson. Run from McKenna ignored, at least initially. Zaharakis over the top. Splits the 2. Hands the ball back.
Back here, Connor.
So if they can move the ball here, they're on the Cats.
Stanley again working inside 50 all alone.
Played 13 minutes in this term, no goal to either side. It's a bit like that sort of pilot for Seinfeld. Show about nothing at the moment, but in a funny way, it's intriguing to watch. In fact, the Bombers have sort of done exactly what they'd hoped to do. They've dried up Geelong's run. They're scoring.
I don't think they've gone ultra-defensive, though. The thing with Essendon is when they've created attacking opportunities, they really haven't been able to go to that next step.
Hard ball had to be won. Goddard won the footy. Lundberger missed it from Cooney. Dangerfield somehow to Duncan, just shoveled it out to Motlop. Hacking ball over his shoulder. Well, Gleeson front spot. There's another one of these young, tough Bombers. Gleeson, who's at the front of the pack. Back it comes to D, but so much to like about Marty Gleeson. Famous name, Adrian Gleeson, his uncle. Premiership player with the Blues. Adrian's brother John Marty's father. You're watching on. Smith knocks it down off the foot of Motlop. Quickly the handball intercepted. Here's a chance from Duncan. Can kick the ball a long way. Decides to go back inside. Lang, Bartel thinks quickly, executes perfectly.
Gee, that's a great kick under pressure, isn't it? Just to be able to see the whole field. First option dried up really quickly. And I mean, this is a really high percentage part of the ground to be having a shot at goal.
Harry Taylor actually just almost tackled the Cockatoo to say, go back, take a deep breath and go back and try and slot this.
So Cockatoo kicked the Cats last. That was before 2 goals to the Bombers. It's going to come back. It's going to come back all the way, but doesn't quite have the distance. Started left, broke back, fell short. Cats by 5, 15 played in the third. Low scoring affair. And the Cats can't break free.
Well, Dangerfield's only had the 2 touches this quarter, so I mean, if they're going to get the job done, you think it's going to be their stars, Dangerfield and Selwood, that are just going to get free at some critical part of this game.
Game high lead from Geelong was 13 points. And the Bombers have just continued to thwart Geelong's run, their forward entries, and seemingly believe that they can win their second for the year in a season where some were saying wins wouldn't come at all. Goddard at halfback, beaten with the ball. Courageous stuff, Menzel. Selwood intercepted. Gleeson sets the Bombers away. Here's a chance. Langford, McDonald, Tippenwoody. A bounce, now to space. Bouncing ball, Stokes. Settles, Stokes. He puts the Bombers in front. Essendon by a point.
That first handball was a cracker. That just opened the game up. Stokes is the finisher, but it was the work deep in defence that got the ball moving. And like Tippenwoody is, having watched Essendon as closely as I have over the last few years, is exactly what's been missing. Somebody that can actually control and run off half back and deliver the ball like he's been able to this afternoon.
Well, here's exactly what you're talking about, Tim, that just run and bounce from Tippenwoody, the quick handball just to get out into space. Of course, we see Stokes up against his old side. He would love this moment to put his new side in front.
He kicked 203 goals for the Cats. He kicks his first against them, and he gets the Bombers in front.
Ambrose goes into the ruck now for the Bombers. 193. Bontempelli, the midfielder for the Western Bulldogs, is taller than Ambrose, up against Stanley here. Can he negate him?
Blitzar's definitely spoken about 198, just sort of lurking about the place, playing an on-ball role. Dangerfield almost fed it over the top to Joel Selwood. And now more tall timber, this time Smith. Bartel, second bite. Interesting to see who had the first. Umpire says it was Jimmy.
Selwood kicked the ball. It's just uncanny, Joel Selwood, over the years. When he senses that the game is in the balance, it's though Judy finds another gear.
But that's what great players do. They realise, they sense the moment, and they make an impact.
So Bartel, a man that has done it all over the ground for Geelong for a long, long time. Game 287 to get his first of the afternoon. He does, and the Cats are back in front. It's amazing, Tim, you spoke about Joel Selwood. So often over this unbelievable period for Geelong, it has been Bartel, or it's been Joel Selwood, or it's been Harry Taylor. Those key figures that at the right moment clunk the ball at the right time, get the ball out of the middle at the right time, kick the right goal at the right time.
It's as though they need the score sometimes to be in balance before the real competitive juice starts to flow.
Not bad, is it? If the Cats somehow claw home today his 200th win from his 287th game, he's played and been a part of making this Geelong side phenomenally successful. So too is this man, Mackie, cockatoo. Hasn't tasted the success that so many of his teammates have. Gets beaten with the ball and outplayed in the end by Langford. Gregson got hold of the footy, pushed it forward. Look at Dangerfield will himself to the football. McDonald Tippenwoody didn't lose his feet initially, did late. Now Gregson, who to choose? Long ball, Smith, Gwilt, Smith. Well done, Gwilt, stood up, didn't give away a free, and the Bombers come away with the football again. Murdoch leads McKenna to the football. McKenna went to ground. Murdoch, long ball, top of the square. Bartel, Goddard floats in.
This game's just jumped up in intensity in the last couple of minutes. You can see it was a pedestrian start to the second half, but both teams have realised there's more points on the line. It's just stepped up.
And Selwood, the captain of the Cats, 7 touches for this quarter and 3 contested possessions. So one of those ones that said, all right, time to get to work, boys.
McDonald Tippenwoody, a little unto himself, then to the tall timber of Danaher. Look, again, 3 Essendon players tackling 1 Cat. Shows how they view McDonald Tippenwoody. He's now bringing the ball in to restart play.
He's a very, very good kick. And a good decision maker too.
He's running at 95% efficiency so far today. He's just got poise, balances and calculates, make sure he takes the right kicker or handball every time.
Merritt involved again there, just threw Selwood out of the way, and as a result the Bombers end up with a football. So much to like about so many of these young Bombers. Gwilt, a new Bomber, but a veteran. Over the top, McKenna really just didn't judge it well at all. Henderson did enough, got it into Kolodjasny's hands. Murdoch goes low, Dangerfield.
They haven't been able to pierce the 50-metre arc of late Essendon. 13 inside 50s to 5 Geelong's way.
Sweeping handball from Ruggles to Blitzarves, back to Ruggles. Now to Harry. Half hits the kick, couldn't have hit it any better. To Bartel on the wing.
Great lead by Jimmy Bartel. That was a 40-50 metre lead.
Just sets it up for a jumper. One was Stanley, the other cockatoo. They've done this well, the Bombers, from half-back, just by hand, linking up. This time, Gleeson. Terrific from Gleeson to Merritt. Well, might have put Bird under a little pressure. He took it cleanly, and cockatoo just holds up the Essendon run. So the Cats have been asked a few questions today. 6-11 to 6-5. We're supposed to come in and win handsomely, but Chris Scott alluded during the week this Bombers outfit are depleted but full of belief. Kolodjasny dances about on the outer side. Back it comes to Harry Taylor. Mackie points to Motlop. Motlop knows he's got a loose man.
He's shut down pretty quickly though then, Hammer.
Yeah, Mackie was pointing over the top to Motlop. He knows he's there and he's going to try and get it to him now. Low ball over the top, kick ideal. Where to next? Gregson short or back inside and be brave. Well, Duncan almost had the opportunity to just continue on running. Chip, chip, chip. Now to Lang.
Stay out, Mitch.
Again though, the Bombers have moved the majority of their 18 into spots where they can defend. Hawkins got a bit lucky, back inside. Is it 15? Umpire says so.
It's a good option in the end just to hit Hawkins up. It was one-on-ones inside forward 50, and Hawkins was able to impact and win his one-on-one and then just settle and drop that just in front of the cockatoo.
Well, quickly to Motlop. He's offline. It did come back a little, but broke late. So just a 7-point lead. If you've just joined us, the Bombers kicked the first 2 of the afternoon, and then the Cats kicked 4 in a row. And then 3 the next 4 to the Bombers, the last to Bartel. 13-point lead after the Gregson goal early in the second. There's a game-high lead. Right now, just 7 points.
Free kick against Geelong for shepherding. Going to go quickly here, the Bombers.
1-point lead at quarter time to the Cats, 2 at the long break. So they've won each of the 3 terms, at least up until this point. If the Bombers could get one late, win the term and get it back to within a single kick, it would set the cat amongst the pigeons.
Makes it so hard to lead as a forward when your defenders just go back and forth, back and forth. You keep trying to set up down the line and they change direction each time.
Pack on the outer side, Blitzarves. The mobile Blitzarves, almost. Now look at Merritt again.
That's why when Mitch Brown had the ball in the centre of the ground, he had to go quickly at that point, because as soon as he hesitated, it just allowed the Geelong defence to get back. I mean, he just had to take a risk, run on and create, and just hope that something opened up. And that often does when you move with the ball.
Back here, please. To the mark.
That's what Brisbane did pretty well against Geelong last week. A couple of chains of quick handballs, and they were able to get in behind Geelong's zone. Got to be brave with the ball.
Bagley happy to come back through the middle. Plenty of time for either side. Gwilt use Deacon go to Kelly, ignored him at the moment, and then just poor kick. Cats on the move here. Gregson, long ball, Bartel. He's done enough, I think, Bartel. Bagley claims a touch.
I believe it's a goal. Can we just make sure it wasn't touched before the line?
Score review.
Your call, Jude.
It's a goal. Please take a seconds touch on the line.
Review underway.
Looks like...
His fingers go back.
Looks like it just catches him on the palm. Bagley.
Is there enough evidence there, though, to overturn it?
This looks like a good view.
You'd have to go for goal.
I think you'd have to call it a goal.
It's a grazing, isn't it? So there's no movement of the ball, which is going to be tough. Is this angle any better?
I think he probably touched it, but that one, I don't know if there's enough evidence there to overturn.
Yes.
Fingers did yes. There it is.
Review completed. The scorers are behind.
There it is. Good call. Took a while to find that.
The right one.
The right one.
Really happy to go through the process to get the right result.
I reckon a bit that almost shows you, with all the frustration that comes with it, a low-scoring affair, a goal or a point is a huge difference, and they got it absolutely spot on. Lonergan, big flyer, Leuenberger, Langford, Murdoch, huge speed, did well to stop them, but allows the Cats to get back. Zaharakis thumps it forward, 40 seconds on the clock. Brown looks inside. Danaher goes deep. Henderson has got him to mark up on. Danaher leads into the pocket. Ball.
They've been good at getting back, haven't they, Geelong? All afternoon, their talls have been able to operate in the right parts of the ground. That's made it really difficult for Essendon to move the ball there quickly. They've had to hesitate. And again, they're able to affect the spoil.
Goddard, little quick fire handball to Merritt. How good has he been? Went and got the football again. Over the top, loose ball. Chance for Fantasia. Threads it back. Here's Bagley. Saved a goal at the other end. Wide to Stokes. 15 seconds. Has to hit a target. Low ball. Danaher over the top of his head. Stanley a fumble. Twice. It gets away with it. The Cats are lucky. An inaccurate second term from Geelong. 1 goal, 7 in this third term. 2-9 last week in the third term against the Lions. 1-7 in the third term here. What are you seeing, Tim?
Murdoch down. He just got kicked in that last stoppage.
Well, just a goal apiece in that third term. 1 to Stokes, 1 to Bartel. Geelong at the last change. by just 8 points. Well, welcome back to the MCG, round 4 action, and we've got a game on our hands. Geelong by just 8 points, 6-13 to 6-5, 49 plays 41. And the Cats, well, they've been unbelievably inaccurate in third quarters so far this year. 3 behinds against the Hawks, 3-1, then 2-9, then 1-7 in that last term. 6 goals, 20 in third term so far this year. Plenty more scoring shots, 19 to 11, but just an 8-point lead. Overcast, cool. We celebrate regional and country Victoria, and feels a little like a country game. Let's go down to Andrew Welsh. He's with Guy McKenna.
Well, Blue, you must be pleased with the intensity shown in the first 3 quarters.
Yeah, first possessions, mate. Clearances are good, so we're cracking in there. Just that polish on the outside, of course.
The defence is standing up. The Cats are missing a few, but they're standing up down there.
Yeah, they're probably keeping us in the game a bit, but yeah, you'd argue that's the pressure that the boys are putting on. Our defenders are held up really well. We just need to seal the deal now.
Good luck in the last quarter. And we saw Jordan Murdoch come off there at 3-quarter time. Looks to be a lower left leg injury. Got some work done on it at 3-quarter time, but good to go, boys.
Thanks, Welshie. Notice the Cats jumpers, hoops representing livestock, wool, wine and wheat. For so long, farmers in this country, the lifeblood. Final 30 minutes underway. 8-point lead to the Cats. First win, first clearance to the Bombers. Zaharakis kicked the first goal of the afternoon. Thumps it long, but Lonergan, as he has been for a long time for the Cats.
Well, that was the one thing Joey Danaher had to do. He had to be able to stand his ground then and make sure that there wasn't a mark taken. And Lonergan, who's just one of the best big body users in the competition, just outpointed him completely.
This is someone who needs to get more involved. Mark Bitt says that's on his 11th disposal. He's been that one who's been running link up previous weeks.
Ball spilt back to Menzel. Little clever knock-on from Caddy. Now Selwood. Well, that's the skipper doing things beautifully. Well, Cockatoo bit off a lot and chewed hard. Found his man. Both of those kicks had to be perfect. Selwood to Cockatoo was outstanding. I thought Cockatoo had tried for too much. Hit Zach Smith on the chest.
Just perfect decision, just to plonk it in front, allow the forward just to lead onto it. Zach Smith, obviously the big body coming through, needs to go back and get them off to the right start in this final term.
So Zach Smith, 3 on debut against Hawthorn on this ground. Hasn't been able to trouble the scorers in terms of major sets.
Last 11 shots, 3-8 from set shots. The Cats.
It's pretty exciting ruck trio for the Cats. You've got Smith throwing himself at the ball up forward, also Stanley's athleticism and Blitzarf's. Great trio to have for the Cats and give them a lot of use, not just in the ruck but around the ground.
And Nathan Vardy and Mitch Clark not playing today, Welshie, with injury.
Play on.
Ridiculous opportunity for tall men just to sort of be rotated through for the coaches. Tough for the big men to stake their claim. So Caddy.
Selwood's getting busy.
The first for the Cats. They'd love him to find a way through again. Goes back to Henderson. And this is how the Cats have been for the majority of the day. Just chipping the ball around without that run which we saw against Hawthorn on this ground. Selwood again goes searching this time. Bird just breaks away from Gregson. Gets a bit of separation. And sets James Gwilt away.
Nowhere to go.
Hemmed in. Kelly. Low, McDonald, Tip and Woody.
Play on.
Darcy Lang just retreats and gets called to play on. McDonald, Tip and Woody. Lang ran at him and College Asney just slides in front of Zach Merritt. So after the Smith miss, the Cats still searching. Cooney knocked it away. Here's a chance for Gregson. Likely, lively, tight. Menzel pretty good at finishing, but again, the Cats wayward.
Cooney got up there and he actually probably should have. He got 2 hands to the foot. He almost needed to take the mark. It was a dangerous spoil back into the corridor.
21 scoring shots to 11. Just the 10-point lead as a result of the Cats' inaccuracy. 6-15 to 6-5.
Play on.
1 goal 11 for from the Cats' last 12 shots at goal. Ambrose tries to block his way through almost.
On the ball, legal disposal. Geelong.
That's good defensive play by Geelong, because one thing Essendon can't do is have slow movement without any clear winners in the air.
They've owned the football, Geelong, to start this final term, but haven't owned the scoreboard. Kolajasny just got it away. Dangerfield, the balance remarkable. Firing at goal. 1 goal, 11 it remains, and out of bounds on the full.
They're just got to start taking some real risks, running and sharing the ball, because it's not going to get the job done kicking down the line tall.
Well, to the wing, and Taylor floating in from the side. Ruggles and Taylor had McKenna covered for height and for numbers. Mackie, here we go. Chance for the Cats through Lonergan. Can run. Gain some metres. Cooney saw it all unfolding. Left centre half forward. Proper and drifted out. Still a chance for the Cats. Gleeson would be happy just to see it over.
Tim, you'd argue that statistically, Essendon should be, with a more functional forward line.
Yeah.
They could have really taken hold of this game. I mean, Geelong have obviously kept them in it with poor kicking.
Well, they've had a lot more of the ball, that's for sure, and a lot more uncontested ball too. They've been able to run and share the ball a lot better, a lot more effectively than Geelong.
Well done, Kelly. Well, Zaharakis just got rid of the football. Still danger signs for the Bombers. Back to Hawkins, threads it through. Here's a chance. Dangerfield. He gets clobbered. He gets collared. Oh, yeah, caught. Look, for a long time, like the umpire, Shane McInerney, was going to let it go. Risky kick. 3 Cats at the fall of the ball. Bartel gets there first. Brown arrived late. Chance for Caddy. Happy to concede. Taylor, back it goes. Caddy. They lose ground, but still have hold of the football, Geelong.
Their defence has been so well organised, Geelong. Just even without Corey and Wright, just the ability to slide back, support, control, and then organise from there.
Goddard fresh on the ground. Takes care of Kolajasny for the moment. Ruggles pushing up. Really disappointing.
Well, Essendon now get a chance to try and move the ball from a clearance where they've dominated this afternoon. It's up to 34-17. So here's the opportunity for them again to create something in the middle of the ground.
They finished off their win here against the Demons brilliantly. Darcy Parish kicked the winner. He handballs to McDonald, Tipperwoody. Back it comes. Fantasia now to Kelly. They're out on the outer side. Bombers have got the numbers and the run. Bagley has all the time in the world to contemplate things. Just works it back inside, misses the handball. Gleeson has to go after the ball. Mendel gets hold of him. Somehow works it back. Here's a chance. Fantasia feeds it back to Bagley. Again, has time to Kelly. Low ball, Zach Merritt.
Got a chance to reload here.
Nothing clean. Leuenberger has the height against Selwood. Just snuck back around behind Leuenberger. Knocked it to ground. D offline.
Isn't it a big difference, though, when somebody like a James Kelly gets the ball in his hands and those years of experience of just knowing what to do at that moment, where to direct the ball. Well, Jude, here they go again from a stoppage. They're able to win the ball cleanly from the last one.
Well, Leuenberger's been fantastic there. He's been really, really strong. 19 hit-outs. Stanley's only had the 8, as well as the Zach Smith's only had 8.
Smith won the tap, looking for Blitzarves. Parrish. Oh, perfect kick in the end, just not the strong hands from Brown. Defensive work was okay. Mackie cleans up. Last line, Lonergan. Nowhere to go but to the outer side to Murdoch.
Okay, that's it.
Hasn't really hit a high note this game.
No, the next goal, though, suddenly, Tim.
It's still a contest.
Yeah, a 16-point lead or back to 4, and the Bombers would be smelling something unlikely. We know that the Cats have won the last 4 and 10 of the last 11 against the Bombers, and the game they won was back in 2011, and it was a hugely unexpected performance. Cats were flying along. The Bombers at that point were hapless. It was a Saturday night at Etihad. It was just a 4-point win. Here you go, the Cats. Motlop, Caddy. Motlop backs himself. Driving ball. Menzel, Bagley. Menzel. Brilliant.
Great.
Superb.
And they did that really well too. They just had the numbers. They overwhelmed Essendon. But it was that last kick to the favoured side there of Menzel, and Bagley could do absolutely nothing. This is a great kick by by Was it Caddy in the end? Motlop kicked the ball.
What about this one-on-one? Just the ability to... Bagley was coming back hard on him, took the body. Fantastic one-on-one mark.
So Menzel hasn't kicked a major this afternoon.
Oh dear.
Wow. You sense something is going to happen here to make Geelong pay that wasn't in the tea leaves at the start of the game. 6-16.
I'm just not sure that Essendon has the energy to be able to do it against a side like Geelong. They're keeping them in it with their inaccuracy, the Geelong side, but
Bring the ball in now, please.
I just don't know if we're going to see that momentum shift the way that it would need to shift for Essendon to get over the line.
They need to shuffle someone like a Cooney inside forward 50 because Danaher hasn't been a scoring option today. He hasn't yet to take a mark. And Henderson and Lonergan have set up so well and been those intercept marks in defence.
You think the only way they're going to be able to score Essendon really is to run the ball at the Geelong defence on a fast break.
And the Geelong defence has held up well all day. They've only allowed the Bombers 6-5. The Cats' inaccuracy has meant that the Bombers still fancy themselves.
Great work from Ruggles. He just stepped out inside. So much congestion, it looked like he had so much more time.
He's going to be a player, isn't he, Ruggles? That small defensive type player for Geelong.
In the last 42 minutes, the Cats have scored 13 times for 1 goal 12. Caddy, Blitzars, Josh Caddy goes back over the top to Lonergan. A hit in hope. Who's at home? Bartell, Hawkins, almost. Menzel lurked about the place, wanted the handball out the back. Bagley went and got the football. Bartell, he gets taken to ground by 3 Bombers. Now Cockatoo tries to work the ball. Merritt over the top of it. Bagley again defending brilliantly. Bartell somehow got it in the Menzel direction. Gleeson holds it up. Kelly burrows his way through. Can the Bombers break it clear here? Guthrie, Cockatoo, Kelly, Parrish.
Great call, Hammer.
This is just...
It's intense.
It's intense and it's been unattractive, but it's still so undecided, this game.
That meter. Who's contesting? Hit the meter.
The Cats desperate to go 2-2. The Bombers unthinkably can go 2-2. Lang from nowhere. Finally, the Cats get a goal. They've scunged a goal, as Lee Matthews says, out of not much.
Sometimes in these tough days, that's all you need to do is just fight, scrap, work one. And that's what they were able to do with Darcy Lang. Pleased Chris Scott nowhere just to get that little momentum. You can see how many blokes got around him to support him. They need to just generate some energy, some life into this game. He could see the stoppage. Just the quick snap from that scrappy congestion. Darcy Lang was able to finish, get one on the board.
The Colac boy gets the Cats out to 17 points.
This way, Essendon, hold his man. Yep, Darcy's ball.
Sam Hay confusing himself initially. Darcy Parrish ends up with the football. The youngster from Wiltshire to Cooney. Now, things get a little tricky for the Bombers. The margin is 17 points, and the Geelong defence has been stingy all day. Cats, if they'd straightened up early, would be well in control of this one.
Tackle.
3 goals the Bombers need to find. The Cats just have to get another, you suggest, to make it slightly more comfortable. Over the top to Duncan's got the running skipper, ignored for the moment. Lang is free, so too Smith, who's deeper. He's got the height advantage on D. Smith chosen in the end. Gleeson will go back. Smith, well, Gleeson just pushed him out of the way. It was desperate times. As a result, desperate deeds.
And that's a kick that really puts pressure on an undersized defence.
10, please.
Big fellow, he's been a really good recruit for Geelong too. I mean, they've been great with their recruiting over the summer months. Henderson's been good today, Smith, and also Dangerfield. And then Scott Selwood, who's probably another 4 or 6 weeks away, I think, which, you know, if they can get him back in the second half of the year, that's going to be a real bonus.
So Zach Smith for his first of the afternoon. Yes, but just. You sense that there's going to be an overhaul of the set shots this week. That was 15 out straight in front and only just snuck through. 23 points, game high lead to the Cats, but It's all been scrappy stuff from Geelong. Finally get their 8th goal. 8 goals, 16 to 6-5, 23-point lead.
They've had 8 injuries, Geelong, for 2 goals, 3 in this final term. Just started to arrest the momentum. Now a 23-point lead. And you can see Jaden Laverty on the bench.
AC joint, we understand.
Oh,
dear.
Big collision. Fantasia crashing through.
Oh, it's come out of the back. It's come out of the back.
We'd like to see that again, whether he made any contact. Oh, no, he's just brushed his shoulder on the way through. Hit the back of him. He might have been a bit lucky then.
Ruggles from Drysdale via Leopold.
Okay, Essendon free.
Werribee in the middle. Used to
Let him up.
tough style of footy, Tom Ruggles.
Go back and take your kick.
Stood up well. Meanwhile, Zach Merritt, who's been extraordinary at finding the football so far this year, has a chance to punch the Bombers forward.
Came into the game averaging 30. He's up to 27, 28.
Top of the square, Brown will fly. Going back to the fight, Stanley. Chance at the fall of the ball for Stokes. Good halves. He used to share a locker with him. Takes him to ground. Zach Merritt, what a year he's having. Averaging 30, and there's Tim Watson set. Up to 28 for the afternoon. Leuenberger knocks it out over the top. Dangerfield fed it to the skipper in Selwood. Stanley, terrific tackle.
It's dropping the ball.
Surely it's dropping the ball. Stanley gets rid of the football, to the wing it goes. Bouncing ball for Gregson. McDonald, Tippenwoody, a couple of Bombers. The lone cat is Gregson. Well done, Anthony. McDonald, Tippenwoody. Suddenly the Bombers had the footy. He continues to chase the footy. And the Geelong players, Motlop off the ground, comes in, scoops the footy, taken over the line by McKenna.
It was interesting coming into this game. The Bombers said, we're not going to go tag. We're not going to tag, so we're not going to tag Dangerfield. We want Merritt and Parrish and these types of guys to learn off these players. They're going to learn more this quarter how you drag your side up out of a rut to get in front than they have in the last 3 quarters.
Zaharakis, Dangerfield do battle. Dangerfield ends up with the football, gives it to Motlop. Tackle again from one of these young Bombers, brilliant Marty Gleeson, the youngster from Koroyd, ends up with the footy. Gleeson to Bagley, through the middle of the ground. Turnover. Menzel, front spot. Langford out of gas. Smith, handball. Wants Mackie, finds him. After a bounce, somehow gets boot to ball. Ball to be won. Ambrose waited a long time. Kolodjasny just flicks it to Zaharakis. That was clever. Now to Stokes. Going back McKenna. He's going to go back with Murdoch. Brown will see that. Over the top short ball is on. And Fantasia, who's been lively all afternoon, is, you would think, about 5 metres too far from home.
Just slightly out of his range here. They just need to organise inside 50. Put it at the top of the square.
Ordinary sort of a kick. Cooney saw it just scoot past. Stokes had it. Cooney off the ground. Chance now for Fantasia. Cooney. Mackie. Clean. Well done. Mackie. Sidestep. Superb. Now driving ball to the wing. It'll come back, but for the moment, the Cats with a little less pressure on them. To Parrish. Darcy Parrish. Disposal number 23 for the afternoon. 17 of them effective. Goddard. Not quite able to take the ball. Dangerfield somehow, so often, comes up with a football. Again, he's done it then when he had a heap of Bombers breathing down his neck. Guthrie, one way then the other. Terrific from Merritt. Here's a chance for the Bombers. McKenna back inside. Tackles on from Duncan.
Opportunity.
He only had a step and he took 1 step too many.
2 sensational tackles there. One from Jackson Merritt and then from Mitch Duncan.
So Duncan might have set up a goal at the other end. Motlop is within range. Got a couple on. Darcy Lang, he's the leading player. And again, the kick from Motlop sets up an opportunity. Motlop's kick set up Menzel. I saw Lang then. I think I meant Menzel. I was looking at Darcy Lang. So as it did last time, the Motlop to Menzel to a maybe. Last was a miss. This trickier. This on his left. This the Stevie J curve. Wants it fat, floating ball. Going back with it is Selwood. Too tough even for Joel.
How many times has that been called over the years? Going back with Selwood. He hasn't seen a ball like that he hasn't liked.
He just doesn't care about how his body is treated.
He's the bravest player going around.
Battering ram.
Well, Gwilt seemingly out of options. Danaher. Lovers to the ball. Blitzarves.
That's his first mark for the afternoon too. Had to go a long way up the other end of the ground to get it. The defence of Geelong's been magnificent in defending those high balls.
We talk about how they've been in it a long time, but to Geelong's defensive credit, they've only allowed Essendon 6-5 for the afternoon.
And you know, for most of those players, they've been there playing together for a long, long time.
Here we see Brown go down, big whack on the nose there. Broken nose, definitely. Didn't look good at all coming off to the bench. So to come in, the doctors will get that sorted out and, dare say, strapped up. And they're pretty tough these days. The players will be back out there with a broken nose.
Well, Trent McKenzie will be saying, that's not a broken nose, this is a broken nose. Well done, Daniel Menzel. He's been erratic in front of goals, but just to make it a 5-goal ball game with 5 minutes to play.
Look at the power in Paddy Dangerfield's kick. That was on his left foot around the corner, jammed for space. It still travelled 45, 50 metres.
It's where he gets his disposals as well. And that was his 7th inside 50. He's always penetrating, always looking to attack, Paddy Dangerfield.
Up to 25 now, Dangerfield for the afternoon.
Menzel has 4 behinds only for the day. He's added to it. He's almost got a goal. 5 minor scores of the Cats, 8-18. Zaharakis. No pressure now for the Bombers. Lang over the top. Hawkins tries to slap it to Stanley. Gleeson did well. Over the top, Langford. Gwilt still under pressure, the Bombers. Chance for Dangerfield. Snaps at goals. Paddy across the face. No score.
He's hard to keep out of the game, isn't he, Dangerfield? Like a lot of Essendon players are now looking really tired, but you know, Dangerfield, Selwood, the more experienced bodies, they still look like they can play another quarter of footy.
Through a few hands, now chance for Motlop around the corner. Here he goes, Stevie. He does it cleanly. Cats up a 31-point lead.
Sensational work from Stephen Motlop. Another good stoppage goal. 2 goals, 1 for the day. Just his ability to change pace, be clean, and then get it onto the boot. He's a fantastic player to watch.
Just looking at their forward line today, though, Geelong, it hasn't really clicked the way you'd expect. I know they've missed a lot of shots for goal, but it hasn't really clicked the way you'd like to see a top 4 aspirant type side click in the forward line.
Here we can see the wraparound, just a great stoppage setup. His just ability to get onto the football and drop that. But as you mentioned, just they haven't really functioned as well. Obviously kicked poorly today. Hawkins only had the 11 disposals.
Chance for Bird, not quite. Now Duncan goes chasing the football. Zaharakis first there. Merritt. McDonald tipping Woody. Crash, bang, Walton. Well done, Cockatoo. Ball split to Dangerfield. Now to Duncan. Here's Andrew Mackie. Runs to about 60. Didn't like what was in front of him. Retreated. Duncan gives it back to Mackie.
Stay still.
There's a look inside the pocket. Almost for a couple of Cats, but not quite. Well, maybe.
Hold it. Hold it there. Okay, playing the mark.
Mark Bagley not happy at all. Blindsided, so he thought it was a metre outside. What do you think, Tim?
The first touch from Jimmy probably right on the line. By the time he carried, he might have gone a metre over the line.
Old Swamp. Now, researcher from Colax just told me that the last guy to kick 5 points in a match without kicking a goal was Buddy back in 2013. Bartel, top of the square. Gleeson, well done. Went low to Kelly. Surely not. Throw in. So Daniel Menzel can say, I did something that Buddy did. There's 5 behinds for the afternoon, Daniel Menzel. Kelly doing what he was brought in to do, and that is help in tight moments, directing traffic. Cats by 31. I'll get home this afternoon, but not without some concerns for Cats lovers. Kelly, 273 games in the hoops, gets them out of trouble, the Bombers, for the moment, but Ruggles follow the ball with Henderson, a couple of newcomers from a Geelong perspective.
I think Chris has got to be happy with the pressure that is being applied around the ball now by Geelong too. They're making it much more difficult for Essendon to find the ball, and their strength, as we see again from the stoppage.
Again, it's Selwood at the stoppage, moving the Cats forward. Bagley threads it to Gwilt. Wonderful handball. Stanley is going to close in. Gwilt probably knew that. Went back, and there's nothing really doing. The Karoit youngster to the outer side. Turnover coming. Here's Harry. Time to go back, gather. You sense that the Bombers are out on their feet. The Cats, the more seasoned bodies, just working their way to a victory. Bird, Hartley, tough for Gleeson. Well done, Bartel. Not often beaten. Was on that occasion, but nothing doing for the Bombers on the wing. Darcy Lang can reload. Back it comes to Harry.
Hey, Jude, what difference would it make to some of these players who are playing for Essendon today not to have completed the long pre-season in terms of, you know, getting to the latter part of a game?
Oh, it makes an enormous difference, and you can see across the league guys are out on their feet late in the game. So I think that, you know, especially some of the, we're looking at the quality and depth of the midfields today, and certainly Geelong have the extra quality.
High tackle.
But just that ability to go and keep going, get to contest late in the game is so important.
Selwood just standing up as he was being mauled, works it to Henderson. Now onto the left into space. Bouncing ball for Menzel to deal with. Does pretty well, takes it cleanly, retreats back to Mackie. Short is on to Duncan.
Hold.
So the Cats will turn after round 4, 3-1. Their only loss to the Giants. Big month coming up. Long ball for Smith to deal with, not quite. Essendon again standing up. Cockatoo, well, just shrugged the tackle. Kicks it into the point post. In that sort of an afternoon, glimpses of stuff you like, but nothing quite as clean as you would have liked, particularly if you're in the Geelong coach's box.
No, he's definitely got something to work with. He's going to take a while, but he's going to be a player for the Cats.
As we mentioned, a tough run as well. Port Adelaide, then you've got Gold Coast and West Coast, as well as another trip over to Adelaide.
Yeah, just highlights. Today was a game they could ill afford to drop, and for a long time it looked like they were going to have some troubles. 1 point at quarter time, 2 at half time, 3 quarter time was an 8-point lead. Selwood doesn't often do that, just hands it back to the opposition. Langford, Gleeson, Langford. Terrific kick to Cooney. He can continue on. Menzel chased him down, got the kick away. Leuenberger can salvage something late from the Bombers. May well be the last kick of the afternoon on the first of these inaugural country games, an initiative from Kevin Sheedy to celebrate the contribution that our farming and regional communities make to our nation. Leuenberger will kick right on siren time. A minor score, the margin 30. The team from the country gets home by 30 points. Not without a struggle in the end. 30 points. Well, the 27 scoring shots to 12 with plenty of out of bounds on the full for the Cats. John Worsfeld's team were really competitive. Let's go down to a man from regional Victoria who's returned home next to Welshie, Paddy Dangerfield.
Thanks so much. Well, Danger, Bombers, they weren't too bad. Put a little bit of pressure on, but lucky to get away in that last quarter.
Yeah, we were. We really didn't play our best footy. We were hammered for clearances for 3 quarters. So there's a lot for us to work on. That being said, you've got to fight hard to win every AFL match that you play. And the Bombers certainly showed us a lesson in intensity early in that game. But it was good to steady in that last quarter and get the win.
But
There was no doubt your kicking on goal certainly kept them in the game. A bit of time in front of the big sticks this week, I think.
Yeah, the most important pressure act that you can put on the opposition is scoreboard pressure, and we weren't able to do that early and really throughout the game. If we convert a bit easier, then we were able to reset the centre bounce and play the game in our forward half.
And back in town, back in Moggs Creek today, country game. It must be great to get some recognition for some of your counterparts down there in country Victoria.
Yeah, look, our great nation is built on working class country people. That's where it all starts, and recognition for the people that can't always get to games in the city. So it's wonderful the AFL has pre-season games out in the country, but to dedicate a game towards them is pretty special.
Right, mate, go and enjoy the win.
Cheers.
There's some great conversations going on out there at the moment. Matty Stokes with his old teammates, James Kelly with his old teammates, Mitch Brown with his old teammates as well. Just some friendships that were forged over a long period of time with some great success there at Geelong and being reunited out there at the completion of the game. It's great to see those things.
Oh, sensational. Obviously played in premierships, and that's what this game is all about, and the lifelong friendships. But there's some things that Chris Scott would really want to work on, and certainly, as we heard from Dangerfield, they did get belted around the stoppages and the clearances, and if Essendon had probably a more functional forward line, at times they would have taken more advantage than what they did today.
Well, they banked the 4 points, but there wasn't a lot of other positives to come out of this game for Geelong. Dangerfield and Selwood were, again, magnificent in that last quarter. 19 disposals between the two.
Let's go down to a man that was brought up in Adelaide but thinks he's a country boy, Andrew Mackie.
Well, Andrew, catching up there with a couple of old teammates, I'm sure you never thought that would happen.
No, it's been a bit of a strange one. We've had Jono and obviously the three boys in this round today. It's look, they're all playing well, so it's good to see, and we got the win, so it's all right.
Yeah, well, that is the main thing. There's a bit of pressure on down in defence. They were trying to work the ball through. They obviously don't have the tools, but Henderson coming to your side, so well drilled back there that he's just fitting right into place.
Yeah, look, he's been really good. Today was a breakout game for him. I think just his marking ability has really helped us out. Harry Taylor, Tommy Lonergan, Colin Ashley. We've got some tools, but they're all playing good footy, and they're able to kick it well too, which helps.
Thanks for your time, mate.
Good on you, Walshy. Cheers.
Just thinking about Jimmy Bartell, we spoke about how it was game 287 for him, his 200th win. Gordon Coventry got to 200 wins in slightly less games, 279. I reckon by the time he's played his 300th, he's going to be having a blow wave on his beard. It's growing quickly, and as you know, he's growing it for a great cause. He's not going to have a haircut or have a shave until grand final this year in support of domestic violence. Raise awareness, hope that players in the stands are having conversations about why he's looking so rugged. Let's go back to Welshie.
Well, Stevie, great game. Had the ball on the string, you got two now, but the pressure yourself and cock two up forward is really adding another dimension to your forward line.
Yeah, we've got a real good camaraderie now there with Darcy Lang and Corey Gregson as well. And I wouldn't say on the string, but it was a good win by the boys.
And it must be pleasing. You've got your tall ruckman that can go down, like we saw Smith. They really hit the pack, so they don't just try and take the mark all the time. They bring it down, which is your bread and butter.
Yeah, when they're not marking it, they're competing really well. And we've got those guys down there that are on the ground, and we're working really well together at the moment.
And no doubt you would have come into today's game knowing it would have been a challenge against the Bombers, but they stood up pretty well right to the end, but experience got you over the line.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're number one for possessing the ball, so they keep it off you, and so if they keep it off you, you can't score. So, as I said, the boys really fought out to the end, and we had a good win.
Thanks for your time, mate. Go and enjoy the win.
Cheers.
It's interesting when you dissect this game. If they were accurate, they thumped the Bombers.
Yeah.
But they weren't. So they've got a lot of the football. They've had a heap of scoring opportunities, but have just butchered the football.
Yeah, but in general play, I thought, for 3 quarters, Essendon really matched them, particularly
absolutely.
around the contests and the clearances. And over the last couple of years, the clearances have been a real concern for Geelong, and that's why they were so keen to go out and get somebody like a Paddy Dangerfield. And they've got the best 1-2 punch in the game in Dangerfield and Selwood, but they still lowered their colours in there today.
Yeah, certainly. I think they've gone out and filled a few gaps that they needed to, and I think they've found one in Tom Ruggles as well, especially with Jackson Thurlow out, an important half-back, just to have someone that's calm down in defence there and an ability to slice them up. But yeah, certainly that ability to win around stoppages, they just got belted around there. You just lose, you're playing it from the defence rather than getting that drive out of the midfield.
Had a lot of traffic on social media asking about the jumper, and as we said, it's paying tribute to Country Australia, and the 4 hoops, the bottom hoop is livestock with the the fence, indicating livestock farming. And the middle hoop is wool. It's got a texture through it. The upper hoop is wine, and the side of the Guernsey has the wheat. So well done to the Cats and the Bombers, and Sheeds has seemingly done it again. I reckon there's got an opportunity to really grow this country game.
This could be a great fixture on the calendar. I think it has the feel of a real festival outside, and as you're walking in, and it was just this could really grow. As we mentioned, that once Essendon's back to full strength with all their stars back in, this crowd could be absolutely packed.
Third win of the year for the Cats. Tough couple of weeks coming up for Geelong. We'll learn a lot about them, but a win over the Hawks, a loss to the Giants, a win over the Lions last weekend, and now the Bombers taken care of. Port Adelaide, the Gold Coast Suns, West Coast and Adelaide, the next month of football for the Geelong Football Club.
Tommy in the middle.